Welcome to Hump Day, the middle of the week, but only day number 2 for Good Morning Pop Culture. So we're coming off a historic episode of A High Council last night, and while I'm a little tired, I'm jacked up for life about this show. So let's start this morning off right by allowing me to thank everyone who supported Stealing Solo, because as of now, Stealing Solo has broken the records. It's passed its goal. It's now on its way to its stretch goal. So thank you to everyone who's helping me make a dream come true. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. And this is just the beginning for me and World Class Bullshitters Comics. And let's just take one quick look before we start the show. So right now, Stealing Solo is at $20,755, raised by 493 backers, 104% of its flexible goal. And there's still 2 months left. Well, 6 weeks. So thank you to everyone. We did it. We did it as a community. The Fandom Menace can make anything happen. So that's just going to show these people out there that want to bitch about comic books and Comicsgate is this terrible hate group. No. Like our friend Sketch Therapy said, it's a consumer revolt against crappy books, against crappy customer service, and we're here to fill in that gap that the people are desperate to have. Comic books are a part of American culture, and World Class Bullshitters will always provide that need for those who ask. Oh my God, I love it. So let's see who's here. We got, let's see, Superfan Adam Shawhan. How you doing, man? Good morning to Cesario Japan. Morning to King Eric. Good morning to PSI Sias 27. I'm Muff and I'm the stuff. Muff Bagwell. Muffwell. Thank you, Tina. Thank you very much. Yes, there's still time. Don't worry. It's not going to go disappearing now that it's reached its goal. It's actually getting ready to, we're going to launch stretch goals so we can get the trading cards and then the ash can edition of my earlier comic book. And once it goes even further, bucket. Let's do a fully colored version of my old comic book that everyone gets at every level. So it's basically double the pleasure of some old comic books and new comic books. Let's see. World Class Bullshitters, Geeks and Gamers, and Comic Artist Pro Secrets 1. Ryan Johnson won't do the Ryan Johnson trilogy. Thank God. No, I have not seen the shill article about Star Wars Resistance. Is it something you guys would like me to read? Because I can check that out. I do have something to talk about. Wow, okay. So we're already at our goal of 200 people. No more plug. I was going to say something, but I'll save it for a little later in the show, and it wasn't about Stealing Solo. So, guys, thank you. We're doing it. Good Morning Pop Culture is a part of everyone's morning, and I'm so thankful for that. Is Kay Ritter going to color the ash can? Who's Kay Ritter? Critter. It is going to get colored if it gets to the third stretch goal. It's going to be a full-sized, 30-page comic that I drew years ago. I'm going to have it recolored professionally and sent out to you guys as a gift. And it'll get the same printing process, so it's not going to be some shitty, little, oh, hey, I went to FedEx and printed off some shit just for you guys. I'll check that out. Infinite Wanderer. Thank you, Stoic Lion. Oh, Kyle Ritter. Zorant00. Thank you very much for your very early super chat, my friend. Perhaps Batista wants out of Disney. That's why he's hanging on to James Gunn. Also, good morning, everyone. Well, good morning, Zorant00. Thank you. Maybe that is the case. It's interesting. Human psychology is interesting because people do things for different reasons. And maybe that's Batista's reason for talking shit about Disney, going after them. Maybe he just wants to get out of the contract. Maybe he wants to get away from that cult-like mentality. Who knows what goes on behind the scenes at Disney? I mean, we can pretty much infer what goes on behind the scenes at Lucasfilm. We know that. We know about the meetings and the people and the weird, bad diversity hires. But we don't really know too much more about Disney. Maybe Batista does. He wants to get out. Maybe he just wants to live his life. I'm not going to defend what Batista said about James Gunn. But unlike most people that do listen to this show or watch Guardians of the Galaxy or a lot of people out in the real world, I followed Batista for years in wrestling. And he does interviews in and out of character and stuff like that. And you get to learn a little bit about the guy. So he's always wanted to do things his way. He's had an ego about himself. And maybe it's going to catch up to him. We'll have to find out in the next couple of years. So let's start talking about this thing. And I'm going to call it a thing because I don't want to call it a movie. I don't want to act like it's a real project, a good project, if you will. So Daniel Craig will star in Ruin Johnston's murder mystery, Knives Out. By the way, before I start, did everyone get a chance to watch yesterday's video? Because we came up with a new phrase here on the channel that we used on the High Council. Johnson did. So from now on, if you make a big mistake, hashtag Johnson did. And I think we can get Ryan Johnson on Twitter to respond to hashtag Johnson did. So let me read this to you guys just briefly, and then we're going to talk about the other part. And there's a new Police Academy movie. I will watch that in a heartbeat. So Daniel Craig has teamed up with director Ruin Johnson for a new murder mystery titled Knives Out. The project came out of nowhere and will be financed via a new production company that Johnson has formed with his longtime producing partner, Ron Bergman. Yay. The project will be hitting the market in search for a distributor at the Toronto International Film Festival this week and is expected to be a very competitive auction. A very competitive auction. Well, it's not because of Ron Bergman and Ruin Johnson, because they Johnson Star Wars. No, it's going to be because Daniel Craig, the most reluctant 007 since Sean Connery. So that's basically how it's going to make its money. The project came out of nowhere because the timing just happened to work out. Ruin Johnson penned the script and wanted Daniel Craig for the lead role, who will be a detective trying to solve a murder in a contemporary setting. It looks though Daniel Craig could be busy with James Bond 25, but with Danny Boyle exiting the director's chair recently, that freed up some time for his project needs to do some regrouping behind the scenes. Daniel Craig agreed to star in Knives Out as a result before suiting up as James Bond when he had this to say in a statement. So I'm not going to really get too much into all this crap because I'm not trying to promote Ruin Johnstain's movie. But it's a murder mystery. So they're going to subvert our expectations. Is Daniel Craig going to be the murderer all along? Is that the twist? The big twist? Probably. I don't expect for this movie to be anything that great. Yesterday I said, Daniel Craig, I said this multiple times, Daniel Craig is the actor that plays Bond that usually gets pretty good roles outside of the James Bond title mantle, if you will. Well, maybe he made a mistake this time. Maybe, what if Ron Bergman and Ryan Johnson pull out a classic film? I doubt it. Remember, it is Ryan Johnson's goal to have half the audience love the film and half the audience hate the film. Well, with Star Wars, he failed because I'd say about 70% of the audience seemed to hate that fucking movie. And I love how all these articles try to say, well, it's a small vocal minority. Well, the small vocal minority caused Solo to flop. I don't care. Deadpool came out a week after. So? Well, the Avengers came out 2 weeks after. So? Well, the Declaration of Independence was signed 200 and change. Who gives a shit? Okay, stuff happens before a movie and after a movie. And you know what? The movie will survive. The movie will have legs if it's good. And Star Wars isn't good. We have Star Wars Resistance, which is a dumpster fire in the making. That's why it's being buried, hidden behind a 10 p.m. time slot. And we have The Last Jedi, which is the most divisive Star Wars film in history. It sucks. People dislike it. And I'm so tired of these douchey shield writers trying to say, oh, it's as good as The Empire Strikes Back. You just don't understand it. What the fuck is there to understand? It's a poorly conceived film with plot holes, bad editing, bad writing, logistical errors. It's stupid. It's a dumb movie. I could talk about it every day and find something new to bitch about it, and everyone would agree that it's still a piece of shit. Excuse me. That was a little testy for this early in the morning. John Campion Collider is crying that Rian Johnson is not doing the Star Wars trilogy, and Collider won't be the extra on the Star Wars trilogy Blu-ray. Hold on 1 second. There we go. That one tear and the fuck I guys gave is gone now. Good morning to everyone here, to you, Ballet Dancer, New Jersey. I hope that's what the NJ stands for and not like, Niles Joseph or something. Now, let's talk about a different article with Ruin Johnstain's face on it. So this website, where did it go? That's the Princess Leia news. Comicbook.com, yay, that website. They have an article titled, "What Does Rian Johnson's Knives Out Mean for His Star Wars Film?" Star Wars fans are eagerly awaiting details about Rian. No, we're not. I'm not even going to read that paragraph. Press 1 if you're eagerly waiting. And I don't mean like ironically, like waiting for it to fail. Like, are you excited? Does anyone that listens to this show actually think, oh my God, the Rian Johnson trilogy is going to be so fucking good? No, you don't. You're probably sitting at home thinking to yourself, I hope to God that movie doesn't get made. And if it does, I'm going to go to World Class Bullshitters and hear what they have to say about it, because they have to go see it. It's their job. They're locked into it for life. And yes, we'll accept that responsibility, and we'll go out into the world and we'll suffer for your entertainment. But we're going to be honest. If it's good, it's good. If it sucks, it sucks. But we always usually, that is not a proper way to structure something. We usually go by the fact that if the one comes before it sucks, we're not too excited. And then if we're pleasantly surprised, well, we're pleasantly surprised. But the only official details about Johnson's new Star Wars trilogy that have been released by Lucasfilm are that The Last Jedi filmmaker will develop the trajectory of the overall trilogy, with Johnson writing and directing the first film. Additionally, the series will be separate from the Skywalker saga. Other than these concrete details, fans have been left to speculate about a number of factors. Now, here's where it gets interesting / shitty. Some former viewers will incorrectly interpret this new project as confirmation that Johnson's films will be scrapped, likely reaction to a small number of viewers not enjoying The Last Jedi. However, as recently as last week, Johnson confirmed he's still working on the films. Small number. I know, here's the thing, the double standards of the crazy fringe minority SJW people. They want to act like going out into the marketplace means nothing, but their likes and their tweets and all that dumb shit they do on social media matters. So then when people are displeased with Star Wars, they'll hide behind, well, people on the internet don't like it, but it made X amount of money. But they don't take into account that it made so much less, as well as this YouTube community that has billions of views between it about this Star Wars dissatisfaction. See, this is new for Star Wars. People want to say, well, people didn't like the prequels. Yeah, but you had 3 years in between them, and you got time to forget about them and move on. And you still had internet message boards, and people didn't like Jar Jar back then. So people had a way to voice their displeasure. But now there's just billions of YouTube views out there that say otherwise. Like, people are fed up with this shit. Okay, so no ones at all. Well, Stoic Lion. Stoic Lion cares, folks. Thank you, Stoic Lion. Let's see. The Last Jedi only made 2/3 what The Force Awakens made. Small number, huh? Hollywood is such condescending. I want people to realize that we're not the weird fringe minority that they think we are. It's not like we're 10 people in a room with a server that generates 1 million bots to download a movie. No, right now we're about 400 people, and it's early. But this channel is tens of thousands of people who have united over the fact that Star Wars is dead, and there's a grieving process. Some laugh, some are upset, and some have barely been able to come to the fact that Star Wars is dead. I mean, the toy videos started out, 2 years ago now? And we've watched the decline of Star Wars toys. We've seen the death of Toys R Us. We've watched Star Wars go from the biggest one of the biggest film franchises ever, to now having its first flop. And this is all in a short period of time. This isn't like George Lucas made a mistake 10 years later. No, this is, Kathleen Kennedy comes right out of the gate. Well, she gets lucky with The Force Awakens. Why? Because, there's the nostalgia and the fact that you basically remade the same flick and you fooled everybody. Then you get the Rogue One, and people are vigilant. They're paying attention for this Mary Sue bullshit, and they don't really get it with Generosa. So our guards are brought down. And then we get to The Last Jedi. And The Last Jedi is a crime against cinema, a crime against humanity, if you will. I mean, they duped us. They lied to us. They murdered Luke Skywalker. They bastardized our favorite franchise. And now they expect us to be waiting with open arms for the next film, the next saga. You know, J.J. Abrams, you better pray to God you have magic in that mystery box of yours, because you're going to need it to fucking dupe everybody in the world to believe your shit. Oh, they're back on Endor, guys. Return of the Jedi, just as good as it. No, it's fucking not. Not at all. J.J. Abrams, good luck. That's all I can say to you. Rian Johnson, you Johnsoned it. You Johnsoned it for you. You Johnsoned it for J.J. Abrams. You Johnsoned Star Wars for millions of people. I almost said billions, but I can't say billions. But you Johnsoned Star Wars for an entire generation. You know, folks, you remember in Planet of the Apes when Charlton Heston is on the beach and he sees the Statue of Liberty, he goes, "You blew it up. You ruined it. God damn you's all to hell." And he pounds his fist on the beach. That's going to be like George Lucas. He's walking down this beach. He's distraught. He knows Star Wars is dead, and he looks up and he sees this giant round shape in the sand, and it's Rian Johnson's head staring back at him. He's like, "You ruined it. Damn you's all to hell." So I have sympathy for George Lucas. Your baby has now been kidnapped and murdered. I'm sorry, George. I'm sorry. JJ's balls are inside the box. No, they're in Kathleen Kennedy's purse. Oh my God. I love how everybody is, how does Rey get in the Falcon after fighting Snoke? Thank you, Red Letter Media, as well as the guy who just posted that in the comments. That's a good question. That's the kind of stuff that Rian Johnson goes, well, no, Ryan, we don't. Tell us. Enlighten us. Fill in the plot holes in your film, if you will, sir. The Last Jedi is fine. The only bit wrong with it is the bit between the crawl and the credits. Thank you so much. I needed a good laugh. Rey is the mystery box. Ooh, that's a mystery that needs to remain unsolved. Even Robert Stack couldn't handle that shit. But there is something else interesting in terms of Star Wars, because Star Wars 9, heartbreaking new Leia storyline revealed in these images. Well, it's funny. The article, I'll show you the images. It's fucking comic book. It's like, oh, heartbreaking new storyline. You want to talk about the most bullshit article ever. This right here. It basically lies. It's like, oh, your heart's going to be broken at this poorly drawn Princess Leia. Folks, this is a twofer. You get your bad comic book art and you get your Star Wars news all at once. So let's just take a look at this face of Princess Leia. She looks like an old Hispanic man. Let's see, Princess Luis. There we go. That's his new name, their new name. I don't want to misgender. Excuse me. I apologize in advance. But there we go. Yeah, what the hell? Leia ate all the pies. Ugh. Leia ate the biggest pie, the Alderaan pie. Yeah, I wouldn't apologize, Nico. The artist here, Poe Dameron, they got the spirit of Poe Dameron right. Princess Leia, not so much. She looks lost. She looks scared. She looks confused. She doesn't look like Carrie Fisher at all. She doesn't look quite surprised. She must have seen episode 8. I see why Han left her. Damn. Damn. Ugh. John Campea is such a liar. Well, you know my thoughts on John Campea. Shill extraordinaire would be the phrase I'd use to describe John Campea, and I thought he was done talking about Star Wars. I thought he was done with the fandom. I mean, I guess the fandom menace was done with him. So, be gone. Thank you, Amy. I'll be checking that out in a little bit. No, Rian Johnson didn't get fired because of Mike Zero. Rian Johnson didn't get fired officially yet. He Johnsoned the whole situation, but he didn't get fired. So what happened officially is Rian Johnson's trilogy, according to him, is still in the process. But again, he's so busy on Twitter, so what do you expect? from a man who's supposedly making a big film. But Rian Johnson is now on this Daniel Craig flick in between time, the film between the films. And it's just not even his Rian Johnson trilogy. He gets to shape the direction. He gets to do one movie. Looks like my gardener. Yeah, it is supposed to be Princess Leia. And yeah, she does look like Grumpy Cat. She definitely looks like Grumpy Cat. So let me read you this information from this poorly drawn article page thingamabob. So, Star Wars Episode 9 will be very difficult for fans to watch. Yes. Whatever the division and rancor left from the backlash against The Last Jedi, everyone is united in their grief over Carrie Fisher's death and the loss of what was intended to be a spectacular final arc for Alderaan Princess turned Resistance leader. She was the leader of the Rebel Alliance too, and we've kind of come to terms. She died in 2016, and it is very sad, but this should have been The Last Jedi. This is just one big marketing push to milk the money out of you one last time. Because Lando wasn't a draw enough. So, hey, Princess Leia's dead. Let's milk her. Leia, we know, will appear on screen using footage shot from Episodes 7 and 8. New revelations show just how far she will go in her battle against tyranny in its latest phase, the First Order. Leaked plot details already claimed last week that Leia is instrumental in coordinating and planning the creation of a new resistance to the First Order. She will send Finn, Poe, and Chewbacca out across the galaxy to find the seeds of rebellion. Recent leaked photographs of the UK locations outside Pinewood Studios showed them on a mission with Naomi Ackie's new character. This is a fight which has consumed Leia's entire life and was ignited into a burning quest for vengeance and justice when she watched her home planet destroyed by the Death Star. And here we are. Is that, I've been afraid to hope there's rumors were true, the archive of the great library of Alderaan, or what's left of it. But how can you even think about selling something like this? Your home. It's long gone. And I can't think of no better way to honor the memory of my home than to fight the same kind of evil that destroyed it. That's inspirational there, Leia. Very inspirational. They can milk something else out of me. No money for them. Yeah, no money for... God, did they even put effort into this shit? I don't know. Alderaan was a bunch of tree-hugging hippies anyway. Damn it, Heath. That's harsh. No respect for Princess Leia's home? What was it on Family Guy? Star Wars was essentially the Mississippi of the galaxy. Do I know if John Campea and Christian Harloff are friends of Mark Hamill and Bob Iger? I guarantee you they're not friends of Bob Iger. Let me tell you guys something about the Collider people, the Schmoes Knows, the Screen Junkies, all of them. They're not big celebrities. They're actors or failed actors that have a bunch of friends in these internet production companies. So they're on these shows. They're part of the press. They get to do whatever. Now, you got a guy like Nick Mundy and the guys from Cinefix who are have a little more status out there. But Christian Harloff and John Campea are just glorified reporters. I don't even know if I'd call Christian Harloff a reporter. He's just a face. He just exists. I don't really know what to say about him. I'm not a fan. The guy I don't like is Christian Harloff's the darker haired one, and Mark whatever is the other one. Yeah, Christian Harloff's the one I don't like. He tries to bully people on movie fights, and I don't think he has very good arguments. That's why I stopped watching that show. But no, I guarantee you they don't know Bob Iger. Bob Iger is the tippy top of Disney. Bob Iger's probably not friends with a ton of actors. He's probably just associated with businessmen and stuff like that. Lawyers, agents, executives, stuff like that. That's what he deals with at the top. The board of directors at Disney. It's not like he's hanging out with, the Nostalgia Critic or somebody like that. No, Bob Iger wouldn't know them. Mark Hamill's probably been interviewed by them and friendly enough with them. Like, oh, hello, John. I remember when I met you at Toronto's Film Festival, blah, 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 blah. That's probably about the extent of it there, too. There's not too much love. Maybe they love Luke Skywalker, but Mark Hamill just sees them as another reporter that he politely remembers, shakes their hand, and moves on. I'm trying to catch up on the chat. Bob Iger has no clue who Campy is, no matter how long he stays on his knees for him. That's true. That's true. You know, folks, I think we give a lot of these internet critic people from out west a lot more credence than they deserve. But I can honestly say that 2018 has helped the tide turn. They don't hold the same status as they once did. I mean, when Roz Weston from Entertainment Tonight had to come out and say, hey, I'm not a shill and X, Y, and Z and present himself in that manner, I felt like that was a big win for us. Maybe not me personally, but for all of us, that transparency and journalistic integrity is paramount from Entertainment Tonight Canada. Maybe not Entertainment Tonight US proper, and maybe not all these other places, but at least you know you can trust Entertainment Tonight Canada and the man known as Roz Weston. Jeff, John Campia did say he heard that Iger and Hamill likes The Last Jedi. Well, I heard from a very reliable source at the top. What's his name? Oh, well, let's name him. Let's see. Let's name him Gary. Gary told me all about how much Kathleen Kennedy hates The Last Jedi. See, it's just bullshit. I can make up anything and tell you guys that. Insider sources told me this. Look, unless Bob Iger comes out and says, The Last Jedi was fucking fantastic on film, I don't believe what John Campia says, guys. He has been bought and paid for. His opinions reflect those of the corporate structure which has hired him to advertise for them. That's all those people are. One big advertisement. Morning, Goth Nerd. What if Ryan takes the role of Jar Jar in episode 9? Would you go watch? I'm going to see episode 9 no matter what for the channel. It'd be kind of stupid to not cover it for the channel. Doesn't mean I'm excited for it, but it means I'll be covering it. I haven't heard, if you're looking at the article right there, there could be a new trailer for Captain Marvel, but we'll have to find out together. Don't have any insider sources yet. Mareth Dioline, thank you very much for Super Chat. Palpatine and Tarkin did nothing wrong. Rebels were terrorists fighting the legitimately created government. Long live the Empire. Well, I like your enthusiasm. Speaking of Grand Moff Tarkin, somebody sent me a Grand Moff Tarkin figure, so that was kind of a nice surprise gift. But back to what you were saying. You can look at Star Wars from another point of view. It's like, as a kid, the bad guys are dressed in black and gray and white, and they're evil looking, and the good guys are there to fight and do the right thing. And you're like, yeah, the Rebel Alliance are the heroes. But then you get a little older, and you're like, maybe, just maybe, the Rebels were kind of assholes. But then you watch the prequels, and then you're like, Palpatine did kind of bullshit his way into power. So whatever Luke Skywalker stands for before The Last Jedi, I stand for. Grand Inquisitor, thank you very much for your super chat. I don't want him to put soy in the water. That makes the frog... Sorry. You know where my mind was. I don't want him to put soy in the water. That makes the freaking Ewoks woke. Thank you, the Grand Inquisitor. I love when you guys send me stuff like that because it makes me laugh. It's a lot of fun. It's a good way to start my day. No, but the Ewoks, the Ewokes, whatever the hell they're called, the woke... Oh, man, we should call giant woke people wokies. I don't know why I'm impressed with my own joke right there. I'm sorry. I swear. It's okay. It's as funny as I think it is to me. But no, wokies. Would you wear a wokies t-shirt? It would be like a hairy chick with glasses and one of those with a fishlet face or whatever they say on the internet. Or would you buy a I Johnsoned It shirt? I think I should make a Johnsoned It shirt and put it up this week. I think a lot of people would buy that shirt as a joke. Alec Munoz, thank you very much for your super chat. George Lucas, I just made $4 billion. Oops, Johnsoned it. Thank you, Alec. Yeah, George Lucas definitely Johnsoned the Star Wars saga by selling it to Disney. And now Disney is a... there's like a, what is it, like a diamond mine. They're just going in and destroying it and looking for the little bits of good. And there's not many left. Insanity Methods, thank you very much for super chat. Hey, Jeff, have you seen the What If Ryan Johnson directed the OT and PT videos from Star Wars Explained? Also, good morning /afternoon. Well, first off, Insanity Methods, thank you very much, and good morning to you, my friend. I have not. Somebody posted the What If Rian Johnson Directed the Empire Strikes Back video in our Facebook group yesterday, and I've been busy dealing with some of the business aspects of Stealing Solo that I've been kind of busy. Plus, I've been drawing and stuff, so I didn't get a chance to check it out, but it is on my radar, and it's on the Facebook page, so I'm definitely going to check it out. And a good afternoon to you. It's what, 1 o'clock over there? So good afternoon, pop culture to you. Ref Dealine, thank you very much. Look up Sith Tarkin. It's an interesting fan art. Well, hold on. Should I look it up now? You guys want me to check out Sith Tarkin? Well, I'm already doing it. Sith Tarkin. Images. Well, when I type in Sith Tarkin, the only thing that's popping up is Revenge of the Sith Grand Moff Tarkin. So there's nothing here. There's a really nice Hot Toys doll. Cesario Japan, thank you very much. Why does Rey look like she's 40 in the comic panel? That's Princess Leia, bro. That's Princess Leia. Reed Palantia, thank you very, very much for your generous super chat. He is the master of all he surveys. A pity his eyes are closed. The story of Rian Johnson. He is the master of, yes, Rian Johnson, the master of none, not even himself. A master baiter, if you will, but that's about it. You know, I really think Johnson is the perfect way to describe the way Star Wars has been handled over the last, 6 years? Yeah, it's 2012. October of 2012 is when they bought it officially. Rian Johnson, will he be the last person to ever Johnson Star Wars? No. Let's be honest with ourselves. J.J. Abrams can Johnson it just as easily as Rian Johnson himself has done. But I don't think it'll ever be Johnson to the same caliber that this other film was, The Last Jedi. And I want to be proven right, and I also want to be proven wrong. Right, because I want Star Wars to remain intact no matter what's left of it. You want to save it. Like RoboCop, there wasn't very much left of Alex Murphy, but they cleaned him up, they put him in a suit, and RoboCop was born and shooting guys in the nuts. But at the same time, I kind of want them to take the T2 approach, and you just sink it in the molten lava, and there's nothing left, and we laugh and we mourn at the same time. But thank you, Reed Palantia. The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, thank you very much for your very generous super chat. There once was a Johnson named Ryan whose movies made people start crying. He called fans a bad name, but he's partly to blame for the fact that Star Wars is dying. Boom! I am copying this right now, copy and pasting this. This is going to be read again. This is phenomenal. Thank you, the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey. I'm going to put this on Twitter right now. I believe you are on Twitter as the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, right? If you tag me, or I'll put this right here, and I'm going to post this to Twitter, and I'm going to tag you in that. That is fantastic. I absolutely love that one so much. I'm going to read it again. There once was a Johnson named Ryan whose movies made people start crying. He called fans a bad name, but he's partly to blame for the fact that Star Wars is dying. That is awesome. That is awesome. That made my morning. Thank you so much. Mr. V. Morning, Jeff. Why does Leia have John Campia's face? Well, Mr. V, thank you very much, and good morning, my friend. I believe that Princess Leia has John Campia's face because when you shill so hard for Star Wars, they put you in their books. So that is the gift that John Campia received. Hey, John, go on out there and shill for our product, and we're going to put you in the Poe Dameron Princess Leia prequel comic book. Okay, guys, I'll do what you say. I love the fandom. And that's John Campia. Everyone, let's give a shout out to our buddy, the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, for that awesome limerick, by the way. That was fantastic. Brett Dealine, Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, I approve. Also looking for the fan art we'll share shortly. Brett Dealine, thank you very much for your super chat. And I'll be ready to share that when it comes time. Princess Leia, played by Edward James Olmos. Oh, my God. At least Edward James Olmos was on Miami Vice, and Miami Vice was a fantastic show. Is still a fantastic show. Yeah, everyone's paying their respects to the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey. Now, Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey is still with us, both in body and spirit. So let's not think that they're gone. But you are the MVP of this episode. That was fantastic. And I'm not just telling you that seriously. Everyone's giving you the applause emoji, the thumbs up. Yeah, that was, I love it. I love it, man. That was the best. It's saved now in the document file. What is the worst Rian Johnson moment? His conception? No, that's a little harsh. His birth. I mean, I don't have the parts to give birth to a child, but could you imagine his mother's pain when that big round head popped out? That's gotta hurt. So that woman is the real hero of Star Wars. Look what she had gone through. And no, but all joking aside, honestly, The Last Jedi is the worst Rian Johnson moment. Yeah, his Mike Zero stuff is cringy and a little in bad taste. But just go back and watch everything from the director and the Jedi and see exactly how Rian Johnson did early on. Put that man's quote on a shirt. Couldn't put it on a shirt because it says Star Wars, but we can put it on other stuff because it's fantastic. Long live the expanded universe. His tweet about man babies is pretty bad. Yeah, Rian Johnson and man baby, he Johnsoned that up big time. I'm not trying to be funny. When he did the whole man babies thing, he really killed a lot of his credibility. It's just a pejorative phrase. I mean, he literally looks like a man baby, so he tries to make fun of us. But I'm going to show you guys. Then hold on. Don't anybody click off the stream yet. We talk about man babies and stuff like this. Let's have a good laugh at man baby extraordinaire Rian Johnson. So give me a moment, and we'll have a laugh. Because I definitely didn't Johnson this one. He did. You see, because people want to talk about insider information. People want to talk about, what we know, what we don't know. Well, I have an inside source. I know Mrs. Johnson. Not the wife of Rian Johnson, but, the mother of Rian Johnson. And many, many years ago, we spoke, and she goes, my son, one day he's going to make a movie that everyone hates. So here is something to blackmail him with. So, folks, I have exclusive content here on World Class Bullshitters. I got my Star Wars content from the future. I went all the way, guys. I'm back. And I had brought this with me. Baby photos of Rian Johnson. There we go. There we go. Grand Inquisitor, thank you very much for super chat. Is Ryan a U.S. citizen? Can we deport him to Mars? Well, we can get the trebuchet ready and send his Rudy Poo candy ass all the way. Well, Moretti Aline says, okay, it's on Charles Dance's Tumblr if you want a war. Glad of War, the names of the board is the name of the board. Oh, Charles Dance has a Tumblr? Oh, God. I didn't realize Charles Dance had a Tumblr. I'll have to check that out, Moretti Aline. That's how he came out of the birth canal. Yeah, beard and receding hairline and all. Oh, Rian Johnson, we don't love ye. Oh my God, Sam, that's fucking harsh. That is harsh. Oh my God. Charles Dance is dead. When did he die? I thought he was in Game of Thrones and shit. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not gonna hold on to it, but I guess Charles Dance ain't dead. He's still alive. He was born October 10th, 1946. He's still alive and kicking. And he looks the same. We're being pulled towards that moon. That's no moon. When did EVS get a nose reduction? Ow! That's a burn. That is a burn. Myth that all babies are cute. Debunked. This is the harshest episode of Good Morning Pop Culture, and damn it, I'm proud to present it to all of you this morning. Oh my god, I don't really know where to go from Ryan Johnson's round head. It's where do we go this morning? Anywhere we want to go. So press 1 if you want me to keep round-headed Johnson on the screen. Press 2 if you'd like me to get rid of him, because the rounded one is ugh. Are we on fire or what? No, Johnson around here. Oh, Tina, that's harsh. That is one ugly baby. So I guess you guys want me to get rid of it. Okay. There we go. Roundhead Ruin John Stain is gone. Super Jeremy Cart. Where is the Super Jeremy Cart photo? I couldn't stop laughing when people called him. Look it, we have Jeremy Osteen and Super Jeremy Cart. Why don't we do a High Council action figure set? Wave 1 will include Ethan, Jeremy, and myself. And Wave 2 will include a pie, a secret from stealing Solo, and like a version of Jeremy. And then Waves 3 through 10 are just all the different versions of Jeremy. There's proper Jeremy, Jeremy with a hat, without a hat, Jeremy Osteen, Hillbilly Jeremy, Redneck Jeremy, Backwater Jeremy, Scuba Jeremy, Kung Fu Jeremy, Ironing Board Jeremy, all the different Jeremys. And I'm so tired of saying his name right now. Jeff, Christian Harloff months ago on Collider Jedi Council said that man on YouTube who was breaking the Star Wars toys is dumb. Christian Harloff saw Ethan Van Sciver's videos. Yeah, well, there's a reason why Ethan, Jeremy, and I have all these views. People at the top have seen our videos. You know, the Kathleen Kennedy one I put out has 1,066,000 views. People have seen that video. So they're aware. They're probably out in Hollywood laughing, ha ha ha, look at these idiots on the internet thinking they're making a difference. Well, bitches, we are. And by bitches, I mean Christian, and I mean John, and everyone out there who thinks, oh, these people on YouTube mean nothing. No, we are the consumers. We mean a lot. Even if Disney sees us as just dollar signs, well, you don't want to lose out on the dollar signs. Let's see. Sith Tarkin in Arnold voice. Do it now! Oh! Jeremy needs to change his name back to Pee-wee. I'll respect him more. Ow, God. Special action figure in Wave 1 included now with parts to assemble. Doomcock. Yeah, Doomcock is our Build-A-Figure. So, since there's only 3 of us on the High Council... Oh, okay, so you get the head and the arms with Ethan. You get the torso with me, and you get the legs with Jeremy. So you got to get all the parts to assemble Doomcock. Now, in Wave 2, you can assemble Cecil. So... the Cecil figure's so big, it's like a Ryan Johnson head. You just basically, Cecil is a mail-in pre-order. You bonus. You just got to send in your proofs of purchases, and there you get Cecil in the mail in 6 to 8 weeks. Also requesting a Smash clone with a bunch of Jeremys that play like Martha. I've never played or know anything about Jeremy's play style in Super Smash Brothers, but when we all meet up in at the Star Wars Celebration in April, I'm going to make sure that Jeremy and I each bring all of our stuff for the Switch so we can play the game with all of you guys and have a lot of fun, because I'm pretty good at Smash Brothers. Oh, Max Relax says the Star Wars Resistance trailer is at 98,000 dislikes and 100,000 likes. Or is it 98? Yeah, and 100,000 dislikes. Mossy is close by. Excuse me for butchering that. You guys want me to check it out? Press 1 if you guys want me to check out the Star Wars Resistance numbers. We'll let's laugh together on air. I don't have to look at this round-headed baby anymore. I had a lot of fun with doing that, by the way. The title cards, I love making the title cards. I love doing the art and stuff like that. And that one, I showed my mom, and she just kept laughing. She's just like, what is this? And I was like, I explained it to her. She goes, ew, what an ugly baby. So when you type in Star Wars Resistance, you get, obviously the trailer pops up. But hey, World Class Bullshitters is number 3 on there. So let's look at this trailer together. Turn off the sound. No copyrights. Damn. In the words of Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, it's a new lap record. I can't believe how embarrassing this is. It's just fail after fail for Star Wars. And you guys are thinking, oh, that's a little extreme. Solo was the last thing they put out for Star Wars. And now this. And that's not inaccurate. Have I seen Ivan Ortega's movie Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I have access to his cut. He sent me the link. I have not had a chance to sit down and watch all of it, so I will. Ivan is awesome. I feel bad. I haven't had enough experience, or excuse me, interaction with Ivan. He's such a cool dude. By the way, everyone in the World Class Bullshitters private Facebook group is laughing because I sent that Ryan Johnson thing, and now everyone's having a good laugh. What the fuck? Anyway, sorry. Let's look at these numbers. Oh, excuse me. I was getting sidetracked down the rabbit hole. We do have to monitor our Facebook page. Let's see. Best Mentalism says 10,000 likes to 70,000 dislikes. Still think it's just a very vocal minority. Well, Best Mentalism, your 70,000 dislikes has been raised to 98,206. That's quite a few. Oh, Disney. At an end, your rule is, and not short enough it was. That's a good quote. Everything about this trailer screams it's going to be an absolutely awful, short-lived series. I call for a vote of no confidence in Chancellor Disney. George Lucas says, "Oh, I'm afraid the boycott will be quite operational when Episode 9 arrives." George Lucas also says, "Is it too late to buy Star Wars back?" Dimitri says, "Twisted by the dark side, Star Wars has become. The franchise you loved gone. It is consumed by Disney." And then everyone's just pretty much making fun of the vocal minority. But my God, look at that. 98,000. When I did the video 2 weeks ago, it was at 35,000 dislikes. And now we're almost triple that. People don't like it, folks. People don't like it. Yeah, 98,000. Jeff, I like to see the High Council this hour. Like, you'd like to see us do a morning show together? Is that what you're asking? Anything's possible. I'll tell you this. When we have Star Wars Celebration, I'm going to talk to the other guys. We're going to do High Council live streams in person, and we'll alternate them. That will be a lot of fun. Yeah, Tina, look at the numbers jumping. I don't think there's if there was an online hate campaign to vote this thing down, I'm sure we would know about it because we'd be blamed for it. But I haven't heard anything about it. So this feels pretty organic to me. This feels justified because I watched this trailer and I thought it looked dumb and cheap, much like a lot of Disney stuff. Dumb and cheap. Over 9,000 dislikes. They did Johnson it. My God, Disney has Johnson Star Wars every day for the last 2 years. Oh, but guys, the Clone Wars is coming back, but it's not new episodes. They Johnsoned it. Yeah, the numbers are jumping like grasshoppers. It's disappointing. When I was a kid, I would have killed for a Star Wars cartoon. You would but you'd read about it in the books, like, oh, the Star Wars holiday special with the Boba Fett cartoon. And there either would be a little bitty picture or there'd be no picture. And in your mind, you're thinking, oh my God, a Boba Fett cartoon? I wonder what this is like. I wonder what a Star Wars cartoon is like. And your mind raced. You wondered. Like, that was me as a kid. Every little crumb of Star Wars I consumed, and I thought it was a 4-course meal. I was just so excited. Like, oh my God, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. And now I'm just full of just their garbage. I don't want any more of it. Yeah, the thing is, I want new Clone Wars to be great because I loved the other Clone Wars. Well, I loved them both. So I know a lot of people were getting all pissy. Oh, you're shitting on the Return of the Clone Wars. No, I didn't shit on the Return of the Clone Wars. I said that you shouldn't be too excited because they're not new episodes. The content that you're so excited for has been available for years in some case. It's just not new. So why would I lie to you guys and follow the narrative? Oh my God, it's back. Star Wars is saved. Is it really saved? Because look where we are with Resistance. No. They're dusting off the oldest shit possible. This is they're trying to stop the blood loss, Star Wars is mortally wounded, so they're tying it off and hoping they don't have to amputate something. Maybe they should. Maybe they'll Johnson that too. The Star Wars Bounty Hunter game was legit awesome. I keep getting comments about Star Wars games in the chat right now. Tell me your favorite one. Mine, Rogue Squadron 2, followed by Rogue Squadron 1, maybe? I don't know. But let me know some of your favorite Star Wars games. I want to return to an era where there's a new Star Wars game annually, and they're fun. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. But overall, I'm happy that Star Wars is back. Good morning to you, Dylan, as well. Speaking of running campaigns, I stopped strong all the way but Johnson as I ran into my neighbor's fence. I ran strong all the way but John. Oh my God, sorry what the synthesis is. Good morning, Jeff, says the Pwee. Well, good morning to you, the Pwee. It is a good morning. Any morning here on Good Morning Pop Culture, every morning here on the channel is a good morning for me. I'm up, I'm drinking my coffee, I'm talking to a wonderful group of people out there every morning. We're having fun. You guys are out there working and lurking on your way to school. Maybe you're off on Wednesdays. Who knows? Some people have weird schedules. Maybe you work nights. Maybe this is how you've worked a night and you're waiting for this show to end and then you're going to go to bed and work another night. Maybe that's your life. Who knows? But thank you for spending your time with us. So no question marks required, the Pwee. It's definitely a good morning. Uh-oh. I brought up the Star Wars video games, and now we're really, really rolling. So we got Bounty Hunter, Knights of the Old Republic, Shadows of the Empire, Original Battlefront, Super Empire Strikes Back. Percy, Super Empire Strikes Back was fucking hard. I had that game. I had the whole trilogy, and that was difficult as shit. Jedi Academy, Dark Forces. Oh, yeah. Pod Racing. So Rogue Squadron 2 is my favorite. Episode 1 Racer is my second favorite. Thank you, Superfan Adam Shawhan. World-class bullshitters is life. Kenneth says, my favorite Star Wars is the original X-Wing fighter, which I still have. For PC, we had that. I had to learn how to use DOS to play that. Channel Dad Brian Lape will be like, how could you not know how to use DOS? Well, Lape, I was, 6 or 7 years old trying to run that. It was hard. Have I seen Vader reviews? I have not. I remember Chad Vader. That was fun. But that's about as far as I went in terms of reviews. You talking about difficult video games. Did you guys like when games were hard because they were shorter, so you had to get your money out of them? Or are you like me where you like the difficulty, but you also like expansive games that are, they're hard, but they're rewarding? Yeah, that was floppy disk days, Alec. Brandon Moist, thank you very much for your super chat. Congrats on 20K for stealing Solo. Brandon Moist, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for supporting the channel the way you do. You're the only fan to still have an episode named after him. So, Brandon, it's always nice to see you. I've been in contact with you over on Patreon. Like, everybody that has messaged me has been contacted through Patreon. So today, if you're a patron of the $5 level and up, we're going to be sending out your digital posters, and then I'm going to be getting the new designs printed, because some of you have received your regular old posters and some of you haven't because the other guys aren't on the show and we had to work out the new poster design. So now that that's taken care of, you guys are going to get those. But just keep your eye out on your inboxes because that's happening soon. Can I laugh like Yoda? Hold on, let's see. No, I can't. I could try. That's just not in my voice. I apologize. I have not watched those yet, Darth Primus. People have been posting those on the Facebook page, and I will check those out later in the day. After this show, I got to get back to stealing Solo, and I got a couple things to take care of, TCOB. But I will watch those. Maybe we'll talk about those on After Hours, or we'll talk about them on the podcast. I'll get the other guys to watch them. By the way, folks, if you guys ever want to suggest topics or things that we talk about on the show, if you're a patron, you're guaranteed to get your topics read on air. Just email or message us on Patreon. And if you're not a patron, but you still listen to the show and support us that way, worldclassbs@mail.com, and write in show questions and with the episode number, and we'll read it. We just got to read all of them first. Jeff, if you do that with Dion in the room, he would run away. Sound like a horse buddy. Yeah, it would. It definitely would. Dion, it's funny. One of our friends on Twitter made a tweet about the High Council, 1/3 world-class bullshitters, and it talks about being afraid of horses, something else, and something else. I'm like, you described for the 1/3 of the High Council, world-class bullshitters. You didn't describe me at all. I'm not afraid of horses or any of the other things. So I'm like, that is a gross misrepresentation of world-class bullshitters as a whole. I did not, Salvador, get a chance to read any of the fan versions of Star Wars Episode 7. I'm willing to read them. I just have to have the time. I've been dealing with a couple of our friends who wanted to advertise on the channel, so their names or their products were read, and I got to keep working on those. And the daily videos are back. By the way, folks, press 1 if you're happy that the single released videos are back here on the channel, because I'm happy that they're back. And if you want more of those, all you got to do is tell me and keep those views going up, because I love doing those so much. Turbo Dunk. Jeff, who's your favorite pod racer? Let's see. My favorite in the game is, I think it's Neva Key. Let me look him up real quick. I'll show you my favorite pod racer. Ew. If you're a member of our Facebook page, go to it right now, because somebody superimposed a picture of Ryan Johnson on a fat white guy's body on a wrecking ball that's shaped like the Death Star with porgs everywhere. And I just don't want to share that on Facebook or YouTube. And then one of our listeners says, is he sitting on his own head? You win, man. You win. Let's see. My favorite pod racer, is it Neva Key? Yes. So let me tell you why my favorite pod racer is Neva Key. Because Neva Key, it's nothing to do with his look. It's to do with his pod. It's one of the few pods that wasn't connected via the ropes or the cords or the cables or whatever the fuck they're called. Neva Key's pod was like one solid piece, and I thought he was pretty badass. And in the the Nintendo 64 version, it was damn fast. So here is my favorite pod racer right there. So thank you, Turbo Dunk, for all that you do for the channel, and thank you for asking that question. I always love to talk about that. I would love to do a live stream of Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Oh, maybe Jeremy and I could have a competition in person when we meet. Yeah, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. John Campia said yesterday that Scylla didn't lose money at the box office. John Campia is a spaceman from Venus. You see, we can also make up shit too. Salvador, gotta hop off, Jeff. Just contributing to coffee. Well, Salvador, thank you very much, my friend. Everything you've done for the channel is greatly appreciated, and be safe at work. I know what you do, man. So take it easy and come back. Yes, I have played the Pod Racer arcade game as a kid. The thing that was weird though is I got this pod race. This is the PS2 version, so this isn't the N64 one. But I got the pod racing game fairly early, because even Kendo remembers this story, and we didn't know each other in 1999. But the Star Wars pod racing game came out in April, May, around the time of the movie, and by the end of the year, it was like super cheap, like $20, maybe even $9. No, it's like $19.99, which was really rare for an N64 game, because those still averaged $59 a cartridge, which was expensive back then. Hell, some games on the Super Nintendo were like $80. That's why I didn't get a bunch of games growing up. But I saw the arcade game. I played it a couple times, but I had the Nintendo 64 version, and back then I thought the Nintendo 64 was God. Like, oh my God, the Nintendo 64, blah, 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 blah. It's the greatest thing ever. A GoldenEye, Zelda, all this shit. So I would see it out, because I had a stepdad who was a truck driver, so we went across the country. I've been to most of the continental United States. And that summer, the last summer we ever went anywhere, that game was out, and I'd see it. And, I had rented the other version, and I came back, owned it, and then never really wanted to play it again. Star Wars lost money? Inconceivable. I don't think that word means what you think it means. The pod racing segment is more entertaining than The Last Jedi. Well, duh. The pod racing segment's one of the coolest parts in the prequels. And there are some decent... Look at overall, I'm not going to all of a sudden go, oh, the prequels were great movies that were misunderstood by the mass audience. No. The prequels have great moments, they have stupid moments, and they have pretty cool moments. Great moments, the lightsaber duel on Theed in the end of Episode 1. Cool moments like the chase through Coruscant in Episode 2. And I have the high ground, Anakin. Yes, it's a meme, and everyone laughs at it, and it's fun. But that, you were my brother and all that shit, that's pretty decent dialogue. I like Revenge of the Sith. That's the only Star Wars prequel movie that I watch and I go, I wish I was watching The Empire Strikes Back instead. Thank you, Trent. Good morning to you too, my friend. Yeah, the final fight is the best part of the movie. Anakin of the spaceship jumped the shark and shit the bed. Well, thank you, David Applegate, for reminding me about when movies shit the bed. We might do a series down the road called When It Shit the Bed. And it's a series about bad movies that start out good and shit the bed. Spider-Man 2 is the prime example of where a movie shits the bed. It comes off the hype of number 2. It starts out very strong, and then it shits the bed, and it just never cleans it back up. It just never stops. Never, ever stops. Laden Swallow, I don't really like the controls for Shadows of the Empire either. I didn't play when it was brand new. So when I got an N64, it was the end of 98. And so Rogue Squadron was already out. And then I went with that, and I never really looked back. I rented Shadows of the Empire later and didn't really like it too much. Brer Fox, I agree it needs to hit 100K minimum. I'm going all the way to the top. I want to surpass Cyberfrog. Ethan has had a huge success. All I got to do is continue to promote the book, and we can do it too. I've, like I said, hired professional colorist. I've got all this stuff worked out. I'm working on the art every day. The story, second to none. It's going to be the most fun parody of anything you've ever read. Trust me. And if you want a copy, you got to get it soon. Spider-Man 3 was good. If you would have talked to me while it was in theaters, I would have told you it was great. But then I watched it on DVD, and my opinion changed greatly. Let's see. Have I seen Looper? Yeah, I've seen Looper. It's a movie. It's okay. I don't hate it. I don't love it either. I watched it once and thought it was fine. It was one of those movies I watched with my aunt, my favorite aunt, and she's like, "Well, watch this movie Looper. It's so cool." And then we watched it. I thought, yeah, it was pretty good. And that was honestly about the end of it. When I heard Rian Johnson was directing Star Wars, I thought to myself, Looper was all right. Maybe this one will be better than the Force Awakens. And I was wrong. Lick Free or Pie Hard? I think we should do Pie Hard commentaries. Maybe that should be our next comic. Pie Hard. And Ethan Van Sky. Dinner at 20,000 feet or whatever it's fucking called. Anthony Mata, thank you very much for your super chat. Favorite arcade game? Mine is Guerrilla War. I have never played Guerrilla War, Anthony. My favorite would be X-Men, the arcade game, or The Simpsons, or Mortal Kombat 2. If I have to pick one, though, I'm going X-Men. Ethan had his big Cyberfrog success, and he wanted to buy an arcade machine. My success, I need to move, so I want to buy a home and grow the channel and build a studio. But what I would really like to do inside of that home is get an X-Men arcade machine, not just the 4-person, but the 6-person. And I want to hire somebody to refurbish the cabinet, put all new screens and controls in there, and just have that thing in my basement. I will have that. That's what I want out of life, an X-Men arcade machine. Oh, Jared Ricewig, I got to cut my yard too, but today is not the day. It was 90 degrees last night at 7 p.m., and now it's all moist and shit outside. It's branded and moist. And I have to go to the gym today, so I don't have energy to both cut the grass as well as lift. Yeah, it is amazing. Mortal Kombat 2 is great. See, I don't like Mortal Kombat 3. I don't like the run system or the designs of the characters or the levels of the music. It took away that weird, otherworldly Asian influence and replaced it with something dark and oddly American, which Mortal Kombat is, but I still like the other one better. Amy, as soon as I get the new house and the arcade and all that fun stuff, you're more than welcome to come over and play X-Men. Now, remember, it's not a fighting game. We're going to be on the same team, and I call Wolverine. House rules. But other than that, let's have fun. You may be able to beat me with your score. Mr. Shitter. Let's see. The market in Cincy has been good for a while. Yeah, I keep getting ads about houses and stuff, so that's going to happen sooner than we think. The original Galaga is your favorite. That man is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did. That must be, I think that is the greatest improvised line in film. At least in the MCU it is. I can't overestimate what an important part the MCU, Roger Downey Jr. Yeah, he's the Kmart version. No, what an important part of the MCU Robert Downey Jr. is. I mean, I watched Infinity War again the other night, just the opening part, and there's so much believability that man brings to the role. We really need that with Star Wars. I know everything kind of comes back to Star Wars on this channel, but it's the thing we all care about so much in our lives. And people are like, well, just let it go. No, I shouldn't have to let it go. It should be good. It needs to be held to that higher standard. Everything needs to be held to that higher standard. No matter what form of entertainment you choose to partake in, your favorite form of entertainment needs to be held to that higher standard. And I want that out of a Star Wars movie. I want to go and be moved. I want to have an event happen, not, disappointment. I'd love to see Jeremy in a Mario costume live streaming. If that happens, I will come. We need to make that happen so I can go visit Jeremy, and I'll be Wario. Mareth Theoline, thank you very much for your super chat. Posted to your Facebook page, heading to work. Mareth Theoline, thank you very much for posting that. Thank you for your support to the channel, and I'm going to check that out right now. Let's see here. Facebook group. Uh-oh. Where's it at? Grace Randolph. Oh, poor Grace. She looks rough. Huh, it didn't pop up yet. We got Captain Marvel news coming today at noon Eastern Standard Time. You guys want me to go come back live when it hits? Because I can. Let's see. Jeremy versus Craig from Game Attack for the Ultimate Mario Kart match. Ooh. Jeff needs to be Wario so I can, before I die. I'll dress up as Wario. I'll dress up as... once I get out of this house and get some stuff situated, I am going to go on camera full time. I'm not... That's something I do want to do. I'm excited about it. I get the right equipment and do live shows, like a radio show. And then the videos that I do will also feature me in them. I'm not camera shy at all. I just don't have the right surroundings yet. Inegro94, thank you very much. Or hopefully it's Inegro maybe. Since lightsaber is a phallic symbol now, you think Rey having Luke's is a metaphor for her holding the Skywalker legacy by the penis in SJW's views? That is deep. And I'm not trying to be sarcastic. That's actually kind of a deep way to break it down. I don't think that it was intended to be like that. I think that was just it's just a way you can interpret it. But I do think that the lightsaber being destroyed and Luke dying or disappearing or becoming one with the Force is definitely, metaphoric in that regard. The lightsaber is destroyed, the legacy is destroyed, there are no more Skywalkers. Yeah, they're going to say, well, Leia's still around, but it's not the same thing. Leia's not a Jedi. She doesn't have that power. Tim, the photo is not popping up on Facebook right now, guys. I got a bunch of people asking to join the group, and then I got a couple people that posted certain things, like Amy's bad art popped up, and and then we got everything else is older. So, guys, if you want to just resend that, I'll gladly talk about it. Oh, Amy, you picked some old stuff. I believe that's Carmine Infantino. I'll show that first. I'll show that when we get to the bad art segment. But Inegro 94, that's deep shit right there. I like it though. Maybe that is how they feel. It's also Anakin's saber. And Anakin doesn't have a wiener, so maybe that was it. Every time you win a match, Jeff, you need to say, I'm a Wario. I'm gonna win. Cooking with Jeff, a holiday special. That is all. Well, Richard, I have done a cooking video here on the channel where I cooked a porg. Not many people have watched it. I've uploaded it twice, and it only got 10,000 views each time. And some people say, that's a lot of views. Well, not for us. And that was one of the videos I had to go on location to film. It took hours and hours to shoot, and I spent money on it. And the money wasn't really an issue, but we did work hard on it. So check that out. How to cook a porg or whatever it was called. Haha, I'm stupid. I'm working on that list. Here's the thing. We got sidetracked with Horror Hound. You got to understand, Horror Hound was a couple things. It was our first appearance to the general public, and we had a good time. A lot of people came over to the table that didn't know us. We shot the shit with people. We had a good time. Secondly, it was our first time to hang out with listeners in person, and we had a fantastic time. And so we would hang out with everybody and do the show, but we'd also kind of get worn out. So we didn't do our filming that we had planned to for the channel, but we're still doing all this stuff for October. And I'm going to get Nick available, or get Nick, and we're going to start doing that. Shit, we may do something tonight. Who knows? But we can talk about Carrie. I like Stephen King stuff. All right, some people saw me cooking the porg. There we go. Thank you, Dennis. I'm glad you're here. Okay, a lot of people had, Horror Hound was fun as hell. And guys, as we continue to grow, we're going to do more shows. Once we hit our Patreon goal, I'm going to once we hit our Patreon goal, we're going to do a show per quarter in different parts of the country, because we'll be able to cover those costs. Because you got to pay for hotel and all that other crap. We're not invited to these shows as guests. We have to pay for the table and get availability and stuff like that. So that's our goal with the new Patreon perks. We just want to travel the country as the show and visit you guys in person, and come to your towns and hang out and drink all of your beer and chase off everybody. Hell, you'll try to chase us off. It just won't happen. I'm glad you guys like it. Here's a insider information. There's some insider information about that porg video. So we originally filmed it to be a cooking show in the vein of the Star Wars holiday special, the stir, whip, 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 stir, all that bullshit. And we filmed everything, but the audio was dog shit, and it just was so boring to watch. So the day of that it went up, I thought, epic mealtime. So on my old computer that is no longer in operation, I edited that thing. It was the last thing I ever did on the computer before I got this new one, and it almost killed the computer. But my God, I made it happen, and that's the video you've seen today. You have plenty of beer in your town, Tim. Well, get it ready, because Dion and I can drink anyone under the table. If he was still alive, my father, Andre the Giant, and I would challenge each other to drinking contests. Now, thankfully, unlike my father, Andre the Giant, I can A, use a toilet, B, sleep comfortably in most beds, and 3, fit in an airplane seat. Now, I'm not that comfortable in an airplane seat, because while my body fits between the arms, my knees don't fit behind the seat, and my shoulders are so broad that they go into the other person. So if you ever fly next to me on a plane and you don't recognize me, I'm sorry. Dark Durkle, there has been an update. I'm talking to our friend Timothy Riggs. He's given me all the insider information about this. So the show is going to evolve into that soon. Now, folks, remember, we go live this Monday. We're going 5 days a week with Good Morning Pop Culture. So you guys have wanted it. You've asked it. You requested it. And now I'm making it happen. So let's make these shows huge successes. Let's get 1,000 people watching. Let's change the landscape of morning entertainment. We can do it. I know we can. Yeah, bro, Apollo Creed. Airplane seats are, oh my God. Dan, and I had to sit in 3 seats right next to each other. It was a nightmare. And I'm not trying to be funny. It was just unbearably bad. And Dion and I just looked at each other. We're like, "What's up, bro? What's up, bro?" And they tried to serve us drinks, and we barely fit on that plane. It was a flight from Michigan to Texas. That's how bad it was. That was a long ass flight too. Does Finn have the downs? Oh, I don't know if he has the downs. Yeah, plane seats do suck. I've never really been into the airplane enthusiasts club, because airplanes are just rough for me. Hell, most cars are pretty rough for me. On the subject of Stephen King, do you prefer the TV miniseries or the Stanley Kubrick theatrical version? Oh, of what? The Shining? I like the Stanley Kubrick version of The Shining. I know some people are like, well, it's not true enough to the novel for me to enjoy. Well, you know what? That's fine, and you don't have to enjoy it. But I enjoy most of the Stephen King adaptations. Big fan of Misery. I think that's a fantastic movie, which I need to add to the list for this year. I'm just a big Stephen King fan. I'd love to meet the dude to tell him how much I like the work based on his work. Oh God, wait till I fly to Japan. Let me tell you something, guys. This channel grows by huge numbers every day. Stealing Solo is a success. This show is a success. All of you guys out there like what we do. We're going to be in Japan one day, probably in the 2020s, early 2020s. There's a video of Conan O'Brien going around where he's in Japan talking to the local folks. Wait till I go to film those videos, because Conan O'Brien's very tall, probably about the same height as me, but he's a lot more narrow than I am. And I just can't wait to walk the streets in Japan and scare people. I'll wear a big-ass American flag t-shirt and run around like a fucking hillbilly. Oh, Alpha Terranema. Thank you for that Chris Jericho reference, by the way. Oh, Adam, I'm not offended by that at all. Believe me, there are photos of us at Horror Hound, so that's fine, man. Hello, little man. World-class bullshitters. I could say it to the whole country. Hello, little country. Jeff in Japan, the original kaiju. Well, that is a title I'm willing to accept. I will blast Real American. I fucking love Hulk Hogan. I will fight for the rights of every man. Nathaniel Rourke, thank you very much for those kind words. I'm very proud of Stealing Solo and what it's done, and it keeps going. It's only 2 weeks, and it's reached its goal, and it's just going to keep on rolling and rolling until it reaches, I don't know, $4 to $5 million. Then I think I'll close it down, and we'll be good. That's a good run, right, guys? $4 to $5 million. Shit, if it reached that number, I would have a world-class bullshitters event, and like 10 people could win a free trip to meet us. Now that would be insane. That'd be fun too. Oh my God. Biggest fans from all over the world coming to meet world-class bullshitters. We'll live stream the whole thing. Make sure you subtitle all the folks looking up the Godzilla references. Oh my God, that's hilarious. The Japanese loved and still love Bob Sapp, so they'll probably love Jeff and the crew. We're very polite wherever we go. We don't leave a very big footprint. Maybe carbon-wise we do, but we clean up where we go. Go for 10 million. I will. Make sure Ethan keeps plugging the book. Ethan is a fantastic friend to have. He has gone out of his way to help me promote Stealing Solo. And I know I said this before, but it's really just the beginning of the promotion on our end, because the guys here on the channel with me, we've come up with some new ways to really garner the interest. And Ethan and I'm going to still appear on the Comic Gate streams and all that other stuff. So I'm not done by any stretch of the imagination. Jeff Zilla. Don't Johnson your visit to Japan. I won't Johnson my visit to Japan. I'll just stream. I won't Logan Paul it. Isn't he the one that messed up, did all that stupid shit in Japan? I think the people of Japan will love me because I'll just want to go into their shops and buy stuff. I'll just throw my credit card at them and be like, I need this Lupin the Third toy. I need this Golgo 13 doll. I need all your Star Wars SH figure arts for a reasonable price. Ryan Johnson presents James Bond Casino Riot. Ugh. Dude, James Bond and Ryan Johnson don't need to be in the same sentence. And Daniel Craig, hashtag not my Bond. Hashtag more profitable than Disney Star Wars. Oh, I'm well aware of the Ami store, Alpha Terranema. Me and my collectibles. I buy so many. Japan, reasonable price. Choose one. Well, the thing is, a Japanese figure costs about $40 American, but it's the shipping and all the other crap that you got to get. And if you don't get them early in pre-orders, these places rake you over the coals. So I've pre-ordered from Japan. There's a Spider-Man figure coming out, and it's based on the old Todd McFarlane design. It's not out till February of next year, but I pre-ordered it, and it was $70. But if you get it from America, it's $90. So you do save money. Ryan Johnson should make a Bond spin-off trilogy based on Jaws. Who plays Jaws? I mean, Richard Keel's dead, sadly. I met Richard Kiel before he died. You talk about a big dude. Even I felt small, and this was 2012, and I haven't. I mean, I'm thinner than I was in 2012, but not shorter than I was in 2012. Yes, overseas shipping is a killer. By the way, folks, make sure that you check out our the self-destruction of Ryan Johnson video and click the links below, because our friend Yakov Merkin is a sci-fi writer who has a series called The Galaxy Ascendant. And if you guys are really fed up with Star Wars right now and you're really, really excited for Stealing Solo, but you can't wait, check out the Galaxy Ascendant series, and you guys are going to get some entertainment, some quality entertainment, world-class bullshitter certified quality entertainment. So check that out. Cesaria Japan says, want to see world-class bullshitters in a maid cafe. Who else wants this? Well, thank you, Cesaria Japan, for your super chat. I don't know what a maid cafe is. Let me look that up. Maybe I want to be there. Maybe I don't. Let's see. A maid cafe. Maid cafes are a subcategory of cosplay restaurants found predominantly in Japan. In these cafes, waitresses dressed as maids act as servants and treat customers as masters and mistresses in a private home rather than as cafe patrons. The first permanent maid cafe, Cure Maid Cafe, was established in Akihabara, Tokyo in 2001, but maid cafes are becoming increasingly popular. As they have done so, the increased competition has made use of some unusual tactics in order to attract customers. They also have expanded overseas into countries like China, South Korea, blah, 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 and the United States. I got them in France. Okay. Cesaria Japan will go. We just need to crowdfund the movie, World Class Bullshitters Takes Japan. The poster will be the city of Tokyo, and it'll be Photoshopped with us in the background like giant kaiju monsters. And we'll sneak Ryan Johnson's head as the moon. There's a Kamen Rider restaurant. I do have respect for Kamen Rider. I might check that out too. I got to eat more than once. Damn it, Trent. How much do I think episode 9 will make? You're guessing around 6 to 650 mil. If I'm being honest, are we talking domestic? I'm going to give you domestic and worldwide. Domestic, I say episode 9 makes... I'll go 675 domestic. And worldwide, it makes $1.1 billion, becoming the lowest grossing of the new saga. David Applegate, thank you very much for your super chat. Check out my book, The Boyhood of Cade, Check out my book, The Boyhood of Cade, Book 1 of the Empire of Elves, a dystopian sci-fi fantasy. Well, folks, David Applegate, you can post that over on our Facebook page, and you guys can check that out. I'm sure the Boyhood of Cade, Book 1, The Empire of Elves, is available on Amazon. So check that out for our friend David. You know, we talk about sci-fi, we talk about fan films and, stories that we love and want to support. Well, David, as well as Yakov and all these other people out there, these other writers, are giving you the stories you want. You just haven't found them yet. So give them a shot. Read the stuff. Let's get those things turned into movies too, guys. There's great, great, great content out there for us to consume. That Goth Nerd, thank you very much for your super chat. There is no message, but thank you very much. Jeff, come to Italy. I'll buy you a ton of real pizza and local wine and beer. Just make sure you come to South Italy. Northern pizza is nothing special. I will go where you are because you said tons of real pizza with local wine and beer. I like Italian food, I like Italian ladies. I like the idea of an Italian trip. Italy is high up on my list of places I'd like to visit, along with... It used to be London, but now it seems like I should kind of avoid London for a little while. So let's go to Italy first, guys. Let's go to Italy first. The Gothner said it wouldn't let me make a message. You better take me with you to Japan. Can you fit in the overhead compartment? Because I'll get an X. I'll pay for the whatchamacallit, the carry-on luggage, and you just jump on. There we go. Oh, it's on the Oh, we got Captain Marvel stuff. Well, you know what, folks? Let's talk about Captain Marvel for a moment. Now, here on the channel, and I'll speak for all four of us, none of the guys here have any issues with female superheroes. We never once said, oh, Wonder Woman shouldn't exist because it's a woman. No, Wonder Woman's a part of our lives. We've known who Wonder Woman is the entire time. Do I have Wonder Woman toys? No, but I had Lois Lane action figures, Princess Leia, China, other female figures, other characters. Captain Marvel is the first MCU flick that I'm dreading because of Brie Larson and her douchiness. I just can't handle actors going out of their way to try to teach us something. Look, you play make-believe for fuckloads of money. How do I know you're being honest now? I don't. World Class Bullshitters World Tour 2020. We'll make sure we have the final stop, Superfan Adam Shawhan, at your house because you're not too far from me. We'll come to your place. We'll be partied out, but we'll have one more left in us, dude. So be prepared. Carl Manvers, no thanks. She's a charisma black hole that smells like cheese. Ew, ripe brie. Ugh. Feminist muff equals best muff. Ooh. No. But let's talk about Captain Marvel for just a moment because, you know, I feel like a lot of people are going to be putting out videos. Who's Captain Marvel? Who's this? Who's that? Blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? Let's do it first. Let's do it fucking live, okay? I'm tired of all these people out there trying to make you these videos. Oh, you don't have to pay attention to the character's legacy. Watch my video, become a fan instantly. That's not how this shit works. You have to kind of learn about the character. I talked about loving Lupin the Third. It took me time to go out, get some books, learn about the character. Then I fell in love with it. Now, right here, we're on Google, which you're about to see in a moment. Now, this is kind of weird. I've never seen a film budget displayed like this. And tell me if I'm in the minority. But, okay, so the budget is displayed at $118 million gross, $97.8 million net. Usually budgets aren't displayed like that. It usually will just say a budget of $225 or whatever. So far, we know that the film Captain Marvel is about Captain Marvel who gets caught in the middle of a galactic war between two alien races. So that's going to be what, the Kree and the Skull and Bones. You guys ever seen the movie The Skulls with Joshua Jordan? Or no, yeah. That's his name? Joshua Jackson. Yeah, from the 90s, Dawson's Creek kid. So let's talk about the character for a brief moment. Carol Susan Jane Danvers is a fictional superhero appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics, created by Roy Thomas and Gene Colan. Danvers first appeared as an officer in the United States Air Force and a colleague of the Kree superhero Mar-Vell in Marvel Superheroes number 13. So Captain Marvel is this is the female version of the male character, Mar-Vell. And let's see, and then she became the first incarnation of Miss Marvel, and Miss Marvel cover dated 1977. And she had a much better costume back then. And then she was featured in the 1970s before she became associated with the Avengers and the X-Men. She's also been known as Binary Warbird. She was known as Binary. Oh my God. All these people on the internet that want to talk about non-binary and all this other stuff, I don't even understand. Captain Marvel was literally known as Binary. So if anyone ever tries to use that argument, guys, about whatever, Captain Marvel shoots that theory down. Now, here's where it pisses me off. Carol Danvers has been labeled Marvel's biggest female hero and quite possibly Marvel's mightiest Avenger. Bullshit. She was ranked number 11 on IGN's top 50 Avengers and 29th in Comic Buyer's 100 Sexiest Women in Comics list. Now, what year did that come out? Here's the thing about Captain Marvel, first off. I like female superhero characters. Even if we're just sticking with the Marvel stuff, she is not number one at all. Not at all. I can name a couple females from Marvel that are better than Captain Marvel. Namely, Storm from the X-Men, Rogue from the X-Men, Jean Grey, Psylocke. There's a trend here. The X-Men has the best female characters. But Marvel doesn't own the X-Men yet properly, so what do? We get Kmart female characters like Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel and all these other bullshit characters. Not even top 10 is right. If you rank Jubilee as number one, I'm going to drive down there and murder you in your sleep. Damn, those are harsh words. I put her at number 2. No, Storm is number 1. Storm is the coolest female X-Men character. And one of the coolest X-Men overall. I mean, Wolverine and Gambit, it's kind of hard to be cooler than Wolverine and Gambit. But Storm is right up there, as is Rogue, and Rogue is interesting. Carol Danvers, not so much interesting. But now we know that she's going to be featured in her new PC-friendly costume, not the original, not even the original one, but her more iconic look. So we have Miss Marvel, #1, drawn by John Romita Sr. Hey, Miss Marvel features Peter Parker, J. Jonah Jameson, and Mary Jane on the cover with the Scorpion. Oh, oh. Where is she at now? This is the Miss Marvel / Carol Danvers that I know and like. I was going to say love. I don't love any of that. But yeah, this is the costume that I think most people associate with her. And oh my God, I wouldn't mind seeing that one on screen, but it's not what we're going to get. It's just not going to happen. And that's just something we have to live with. But there really isn't too much more to learn about the character. We're not going to go into the deep cuts of all that stuff, but be prepared for the movie to come out. And let me tell you how the internet works. It's a connected series of tubes. No. What's going to happen now is you're going to get all of these people making videos about the Captain Marvel trailer. Did you see it? What did you miss? What this Easter egg means? Everyone's going to be a giant Captain Marvel fan because this trailer comes out. That's how these movies work. Everyone was a Black Panther fan last year because of that trailer. Look, I knew who Black Panther was. I've read books. I've listened to the graphic novel, motion comic thing, all that stuff. I knew the character. I know this character. I'm not a fan. Okay? I knew who all the Avengers before the movies were. There wasn't an Avenger that I learned about through the films. Now, were there Avengers that I liked more thanks to the films? Yes. Hawkeye. I used to think Hawkeye was whatever. I like Hawkeye. Captain Marvel, based on Brie Larson and the way Hollywood is right now, I'm going to go with, we'll have to wait and see. I seem to remember in the X-Men cartoon that Rogue put Miss Marvel in a coma. It'd be nice to have that plot when Disney claims X-Men. You fucking right it would be. That's where Rogue got her powers. She always had the mutant powers to absorb your energy through her hands, her skin contact. But when she touched Miss Marvel, I think she touched her for too long, put Carol Danvers in a coma, and that's how Rogue can fly and do all the shit she can. Rogue is cool. I love that outfit with the jacket. She was a lot of fun. Comic Book Cast 2 will milk Captain Marvel as much as he milks videos on James Gunn. Yeah, that's a channel I don't watch. They lie about certain things. They're like, this is the new Spider-Man costume from the Avengers. And it's a fucking CGI picture of like a folded jacket. And they play it off as fact, and then they never go back and change it like, oh, we were wrong. See, that's why we operate differently. I don't operate on the hype train. It's like, oh my God, this snippet came out, and this is a rumor that I'm going to play off as real. No. Unless you're Mike Zero who gets your content from the future, I don't pull that shit, and I don't believe it. I wish Nick Fury was summoning the X-Men. I hope that when the X-Men show up in the MCU proper, that they do the old 90s theme song, and so I can sing for copyright reasons. I want to hear that. That'll get me excited. And I want them to have different costumes, not the uniforms like they've had in the past, 84 X-Men films. Straight up, Wolverine's in his blue, or maybe I want to see Wolverine in his tiger or his brown suit. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. We've never seen that on film. Cyclops will be in his Jim Lee costume. We'll have Rogue and her regular, just Jim Lee X-Men on film, please. That's what I ask. That's all I ask for, guys. Yeah, I agree with this statement more than anyone could possibly imagine. Iron Man better be the one that kills Thanos. End it all where it started. If Captain Marvel or Nebula kill Thanos, I will be disappointed. The only two characters, and I said two, that I'm okay with would be Iron Man or Drax. Now, I know everyone's going to be saying, but I hate Batista this, Batista that. Look it. I'm not with what Batista's going on about. I'm not even going to try to defend all that stuff. All I'm saying is, remember Batista's mission was that Thanos murdered his family. To me, it makes sense that, given the proper fight, Batista could make it happen. Drax the Destroyer could do it. I'd like to see that. But realistically, it should be Iron Man or Cap, too. No, Iron Man, because remember Iron Man touched the scepter and saw the battle where they all died? Oh, shit. Yeah, on that platform. Oh man, that's how the next one's gonna be. He's gonna be fighting Thanos in space on that platform. We're gonna see all the dead Avengers, and he's gonna use the stone to go back and sacrifice himself and save everyone else. Ooh, I hope that's what happens. I love this channel and I love doing this shit, but I wish I could just Thanos snap myself to next April. I'd be so fucking excited. I can't wait. It's a shame Hugh Jackman won't be Wolverine in the MCU. He wasn't the most accurate Wolverine, but I really liked him, and I think he'd fit well. Yes, Hugh Jackman was perfect for Wolverine, and I don't want another actor to play him. Much like I don't want another Indiana Jones, we didn't need another Han Solo. Hugh Jackman was the tits. I want Thor to finish the job he started and cut off Thanos' head. I like that one too. Realistically, if it's one of the heavy hitter main event Avengers, I'm okay with them killing Thanos. Now, not Scarlett Johansson, because what you can do, shoot him in the eyeball and then he just dies? No, I don't buy that shit. Iron Man can do it with new armor. Ant-Man's going to play a part of this too. What if Ant-Man shrinks down and climbs into Thanos' ear and then goes full size and just blows his head off? That'd be kind of cool. What if there's just so many possibilities? I want to hear some more of those though from you guys. And to think we almost had Dougray Scott as Wolverine. Thanks, Tom Cruise. Talk about a bad choice. Does everyone know that story? So there is an actor named Dougray Scott who was originally cast as Wolverine, but he dropped out of the picture to play in Mission Impossible 2 with Tom Cruise. And so Hugh Jackman got the role. And Hugh Jackman's career took off, and Dougray Scott, not so much. Motor Mitzik says, I would love to see Drax rip out his heart like in the comics. That'd be cool. Kine24, you missed a whole hell of a lot of fun. We didn't Johnson this show up, but Ryan did. A Hawkeye headshot. No Heart hated Wolverine, played by Hugh Jackman. I think the last fight in Infinity War, having Spider-Man die in Tony Arms, he deserves to kill Thanos. I like that idea. Oh my god, that's fucked up, Jared, but I approve. All I want in the next Avengers is a less terrible jokes and downgraded for Iron Man's suit because it gets ridiculous each film. I thought the humor was appropriate for Infinity War because unlike Star Wars, the humor works. And when it gets serious, they pretty much stop it. You know, the only time I remember in the end battle was like, I am Groot. I'm Steve Rogers. That was hilarious. And then it got right back into the battle. And it was a nice, quick moment. Bikini90, morning to you too. And thank you for joining our Patreon page. I appreciate that. Is Ryan Johnson fired yet? No, but he's busy making his movie Knives Out. So that's going to be a hit. That'll put butts in seats. Ryan Johnson production. Oh, sorry, a Ron Bergman production featuring a Ryan Johnson film starring Daniel Craig. Mistake, the movie. Rockman, thank you very much for your super chat. Laura Vandervoort, she'd be great as Captain Marvel. Let me look her up because I don't know her off the top of my head, but I feel like I do know her. Laura Vandervoort. Oh, yeah, she'd be pretty great at a lot of stuff. She could play Captain Marvel. She looks a lot more likable. And one thing too, and I don't mean this in a mean way, but Laura Vandervoort is, how old is she? She's 33. I'd believe that she could have been in the military, the Air Force, and had some more experience at 33 over Brie Larson's younger than I am, I believe. Brie Larson's what, 27? Uh, 28. Yeah, Brie Larson's younger than me. Oh, we share the same birth month. Ew. No, thank you, Brie. I claim October. The funny thing, though, is Captain Marvel's Brie Larson teases internet breaking news for tomorrow. I hope something crazy happens today that consumes the internet's attention. Like, I don't know, Ryan Johnson lights a bag of dog shit on somebody's porch and gets caught and goes to jail and he freaks out. Captain Marvel is not going to break the internet today. People will talk about it. Comic book cast 2 will go into it for views, and then people will forget about it. And that's really the end of it. Lena Dunham as Captain Marvel. Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, you had the greatest super chat of all time at World Class Bullshitters, and now you followed up with a message like this to me. You break my heart, Anakin. Now, Dion will sign up for, basically, you know how you go up to a counter and you buy a ticket or two, or for how many people you're with. Dion's going to buy it. He's like, I want to buy the entire theater for this movie right now. Lena Dunham is Captain Marvel. And they go, sir, that's 250 tickets at $12 each. I don't care. I need it. And then Dion, my best friend, will have some alone time with Lena Dunham. 50-foot tall Lena Dunham, because the real Lena Dunham's what? 5'8"? No, 5'1". She's little, and put her in the barrel and send her away. Oh, we got a couple October birthdays. Lost Cause as well as Alan Sparks. Happy early birthday, guys. We got a month till our month, Halloween, the end of Stealing Solo. All kinds of exciting things happen in October. Lena Dunham is the Thing. Now, do you mean like the Fantastic Four the Thing? Or how about the version, you mean like the Thing, like that spider head thing? Yeah, Dion would still be aroused by it. That is my friend, folks. That is my friend. If the movie bombs, Brie Larson will blame sexist men for being haters. That's going to be what happens. They're like, well, these men don't like this movie. No. Remember, the audience is 50% female. You guys are, what about that 50%? If all the females in the movie viewing audience, here's the thing. They go by population. They're like, well, if the country's population is 51% female to 49% male, well, the female audience is then the majority. No, just because you have a bunch of people that likes or that exist doesn't mean they all like the same thing. We have about 73,000 subscribers. Just because there are more females than men or males on the planet doesn't mean our demographic runs in that direction. It just you got to know where your audience is, and you got to cater to that audience and give them what they want. It's very easy to do. It's even easier to fuck up. Wakini90, thank you very much for your super chat. Jeremy missed my super chat last night. I guess you can say that Vox Day Johnsoned himself on his live stream on Monday. Well, Makini90, I don't know if you guys realize this, but last night on the High Council, Jeremy's power went out. So, did he call in? Okay, so what happened is he was in the middle of saying something to Ethan, and then he disappeared. Thanos snapped him out of existence. So then Ethan and I carried on the show for a little bit, and then it went away completely. And then Jeremy's like, yeah, my power went out. I got to go take care of my family. I'll talk to you guys next week. And that was the end of it. So, Makini90, thank you for your super chat this morning. I never miss. Unlike Black Panther, who never freezes, even though he froze. But yeah, Jeremy just had some technical issues with his internet due to the weather. The power went out. So thank you to everyone who was patient with last night's High Council. It was one of the funniest episodes. We just, had some issues. Jeremy had an outage. Next time you guys go bowling, Dion can stuff Lena Dunham into his bag and then roll her down the aisle into the pins. Ew. I don't think I've ever seen Dion bowl. I think I've ever seen Dion do a lot of sports-related things. We talked about it. He told me he plays tennis. I've never seen it. Ever. My thoughts on Birds of Prey, the TV show from the late 2000s, right? Or early 2000s, late 90s. I remember it being on, but I never watched it. And now if you're talking about the film, I'm cool with the ladies getting a superhero flick. If it's based off the comic book stuff, like they're talking about this all-female X-Men or all-female Avengers flick. That's kind of dumb because the Avengers, unless they're going to do A-Force, they have to call it A-Force. They can't call it the Avengers or all this other dumb shit. See, these people that want to market fringe identity politics, they don't get to use the name brand to market their stupid ideals. No, you go with what, make it on your own power. Make it on your own steam, because that is the way you can avoid all criticism. Female Ghostbusters failed because of these sexist idiots. Well, why don't you just make a movie about 4 female scientists and not call it Ghostbusters? Why don't you make an all-female science fiction comedy? Make it wholly original, and then the internet's not going to praise it or they're not going to shit on it because all the name brand recognition won't work. You see how that works? Nico, it's your cousin. Want to go bowling? God damn it. I hate myself for knowing that. I played Grand Theft Auto 4 for far too long. Far too long. Thoughts on having Zero on the High Council? It'd be a fun listen. Do you guys want Mike Zero on next week's High Council? I mean, I can ask. If you guys all tweet at Mike Zero, appear on the High Council on Tuesday, it's on my channel. He's more than welcome to come. So let's make that happen, guys. Let's get Mike Zero on the show because I need him to help me with some future Star Wars content. John Lance, thank you very much for your super chat. Take Dion bowling and make him wear the outfit. Or make him wear an outfit like Jesus in The Big Lebowski. The Jesus. Nobody fucks with the Jesus, man. Yes, I can get Dion to wear a purple suit. He'll look cool. We'll even get him that little bag of beans to stuff in his crotch. Have we done The Big Lebowski here on the channel yet? I know we've done something for Patreon a while ago, but The Big Lebowski would be a really, really fun watch party. Tell me, press F if you'd like to have that happen soon. Cesario Japan, Femforce. Oh, wait, it's already a comic. Never mind. Thank you, Cesario Japan. I appreciate that. How's the talk with Midnight's Edge coming along? Probably not going to happen because I haven't heard shit back from him for months now. So let's just call that one dead. Have I seen sometimes they come back and sometimes they come back again? Yeah, sometimes they come back. That was on Hulu. I watched it not too long ago. Okay, lots of wants for The Big Lebowski. If you get Mike Zero on here, I'll never come back. Aw. But Mike Zero came from the future and told me that's not true. You were back the next day. Mike Zero knew I was going to invite him. Yeah, because it's from the future, man. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, my God. You guys are too much. But yeah, I know we recorded The Big Lebowski for something, but I didn't know if it was for Patreon or this. You got to understand something. Here's a funny thing. I was listening to a Chris Jericho podcast last night after the High Council because I was working on the alternate cover / poster for Stealing Solo. And he's talking about a wrestling pay-per-view, and he gets his facts wrong. I'm thinking, how do you fuck that up? And then I realized something. After you do so many shows, so many appearances, you travel so much, it all kind of runs together. So for me, I've done what? 40 episodes of Good Morning Pop Culture, and 138 or 137 episodes of World Class Bullshitters. After a while, you just forget what you've talked about because you know you've done stuff, you know you've covered it, but you don't know the exact details of it. So I kind of understand where these wrestlers and people that kind of forget shit come from. It's not because they're old or senile at 42 like Chris Jericho. No, it's you've done so much in your life, you've produced so much content that at some point it all runs together. And yeah, you have your memorable moments like eating the porg or the million-viewed Kathleen Kennedy video or, Stealing Solo breaking records in just 2 weeks' time, and now it's beyond its goal at 102%. You remember those things, but sometimes you don't remember the Big Lebowski commentary and where it was. If Skynet made Mike Zero, that means that somewhere in the future there's an assembly line of naked Mike Zeros. Ew. Disgusting. Did I see that DDP was on Joe Rogan yesterday? No, but I did see DDP at Horror Hound and literally bumped into him. Mike Zero, the last American hero. What is that Shawn Michaels said? You are a zero, my hero. Nah, he said that to Bret Hart. It would be epic to see Mike Zero on High Council, but it'd be more epic to see Mike Zero and Cecil on the High Council. Well, I'll make that. I'll try to make that happen. I'll see if Mike Zero will respond. He's been laying low on Twitter, but you never know. He may want to talk. He may not. He may be secretly involved with Lucasfilm and like the attention. We don't know. We don't have our Star Wars content from the future, but I will invite Mike. I've never seen the Futurama movie, so I don't know if he's like Bender, but I don't know if I don't think he has a shiny metal ass. Bring John Campy on the show. John Campy would never appear on the show. Ivan plus Zero in Good Morning Pop Culture. Like Ivan Ortega? Are they not do they not like each other or do they like each other? I don't know. I don't follow a lot of the drama. Yeah, Jericho is crazy. He does put in a lot of work. I have nothing but respect for Chris Jericho. I've met the man once, and it's funny. He tells this classic story about how a father and son are on an elevator, and the dad's like, "Hey, could you take a picture with my son?" And Jericho refused to break character. Well, I made Chris Jericho break character when he was a heel in 2010, and I'll tell that story on the podcast this week. When Ryan Johnson gets fired, maybe you can invite him on the High Council. Sure. I'll offer him a frowny biscuit as a treat. Yeah, I'm tired of looking at Carl Mann versus Well. Let's stop. Terminator Genesis was a warning about Windows 10. Notice how Cortana becomes Skynet in Halo 5 and then Siri is the SKU equivalent right after. Ew. I'd like to see Mike Zero talk shit about the hate from Star Wars Explained, Urban Acolyte, and Star Wars Net. Like I said, I'll ask. The High Council, I think, would enjoy. The High Council audience would love it. I'm going to start right now trying to get Mike Zero on the show. Well, by right now, I mean at 10 o'clock when I go off air. And I want you guys to retweet the tweet. That's the power. Here's the thing. There are 393 people watching. Let's call it 400. If everyone listening has a Twitter and Mike Zero's mentioned and he gets 400 notifications about retweets, he's going to find out. Mike Zero is not a celebrity. Mike Zero is a YouTuber who has a big following, but not a giant following. He'll see this, and he'll at least say yes or no, and that's all we need. Hell, if we had everybody that watched the live stream retweet The Rock, he'd probably see that too. So power in numbers, folks. It's all you got to do. Dio Brando, thank you very much. Or I might retract this thank you after I read this super chat aloud. Ryan Johnson working with Craig. He's getting close to 007. That hurts me. That hurts me. If Ryan Johnson directs a James Bond flick, I might cancel the show forever. Just saying. Now, he couldn't announce it. It has to be made in theaters. And then once it hits VHS, I'll cancel the show. Would you ever invite Voidy and New on the show? He will say no. I don't know who the hell that is, so probably not. As long as he doesn't write it. I will lose my shit if he directs 007. Yeah, me too. I'll lose my shit. Barbara Broccoli Johnson did. Yeah, she Johnson 007 a long time ago. Usually it's 007 that does the Johnsoning. But no. Zero needs to explain himself before the High Council and the Fandom Menace. Yes. I agree. I have some more news about Captain Marvel that came out yesterday. It's disturbing and it's shitty. Captain Marvel, partially inspired by Terminator 2. Captain Marvel is one of the most hotly anticipated superhero films of 2019. No, it's not. And it owes some of its inspiration to a science fiction classic in Terminator 2 Judgment Day. At least that's what Kevin Feige compares it to. There's definitely some homages to our favorite 90s action film. It's not my favorite 90s action film, but it's a fantastic movie. Ew. That's all I can say is Captain Marvel and Terminator 2. Can't they come up with something original? Come on, Kevin. Don't Johnson this up, man. Don't Johnson it. Don't turn it into a cluster muff. Would I like to direct 007 now that Boyle's out? Oh, of course. I threw my hat into the ring. They've accepted it, and they're looking at my resume right now. They consider world-class bullshitters world-class content, and the fact that I've written and produced, 560-plus videos here on the channel, it puts me as the front runner for the most qualified. I've also read all the James Bond novels, and I'm ready to make the next Bond flick. First order of business, goodbye, Daniel Craig. Next order of business, hello, Pierce Brosnan. Hello, old man James Bond. And you don't even have to be that old. Just 10 years in the future. Kick some ass. That's it. Muff bar. Johnson into a cluster muff. I don't know if you think you got banned during the High Council. I didn't control the High Council, so we don't do that. Is there any other shill Star Wars journalist than Dork Side of the Force? They seem to be the Star Wars equivalent of Polygon. There's a reason why no one respects Polygon or Kotaku. Just putting that out there. No, Lost Cause. The T-shirt design is not the solo picture. I'll be sharing that when we get to a little closer to. I'll just make them and put them up there. It'll be one of the soonish updates. Put it like that. Mike Zero for the new James Bond. Okay, I guess I could hire him for my James Bond picture, and we'll get Grace Jones and Lena Dunham as the Bond girls, because Grace Jones will return as Mayday. She'll be a cyborg. The only thing that'll be left of her from the explosion is like an eyeball and her left foot, the one Phil lost. And that'll be the Bond flick. It'll be like Moonraker 2, Electric Boogaloo. Bond is back, and this time in a bigger galaxy. Zero. Mike Zero. Oh my god, that's so gross. So, seriously, this is all one big cluster muffin. It just makes me sick. It stinks, and I don't like it. So we got 2 days until Spider-Man hits. Sorry. Yeah, 2 days. It launches on Friday. Is anyone getting Spider-Man for PS4? I know we don't do a ton of game talk, and I'm not going to turn this into a gaming channel, but this was on the same page as Captain Marvel. Makini90, thank you very much for your super chat. Stealing Zero, a James Bond parody. Yeah, but I don't think anyone would want to steal Mike Zero. I mean, people like Harrison Ford, and that's the premise of this movie. He, at the end of the day, he is the only good person in this story. Do you think Dion will be considered if he came across a horse Terminator? Well, Richard, do you mean a Terminator that is a horse, or a Terminator that only terminates horses? Because the latter, Dion would love to be one of. But yes, a cybernetic time-traveling horse is literally Dion's worst nightmare. It shoots flames out of its nose and lasers out of its dick. And Dion would just ball up into a corner and die. He would just give up. Just give up. GameStop gift cards. Excellent choice, Trent. Scott only has a Nintendo. Well, Scott, maybe down the road we should switch friend codes. We can play Smash Brothers together. You can watch me swing into the buildings. Amy, I'm actually pretty good at gaming, and I've had all the Spider-Man games, with the exception of, was it Friend or Foe, or the sequel to Shattered Dimensions? And yes, I even had the Amazing Spider-Man games. So I won't have too much and too many problems with that. What do I think of Henry Cavill as the Watcher? I'm fine with that. I don't know, or the Witcher, excuse me, the Watcher. Henry Cavill is now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Uatu the Watcher. I don't like that one. But as the Witcher, I don't really know that series. So cool, Henry Cavill. I think Henry Cavill can act. I'm not saying he's the best actor in the world, but what I am saying is I like him. He's got the charisma and the believability and the presence. So cool, go for it. No to Spider-Man game because they censored Black Cat's cleavage in the DLC. Did they really? Well, Cesaria Japan, I'm going to take your word on that, and I'm not going to support the DLC. Black Cat, it's part of her character. Like, she has white hair, the fur around the collar, and her boobs are hanging out. Let's not change that for modern sensibilities. That means every male superhero needs to have a little bit of paunch on him. No more six-pack for Thor. No more six-pack for Captain America. Black Panther has to have type 2 diabetes. Scarlett Johansson's character has to be, I don't know. She's got some scar tissue on the back of her neck or something. I don't know. But no, if we can't have the Black Cat in her original form, then all the characters need to be altered because someone somewhere is offended. You should make a comic book for Dion called Cyberhorse. Okay. Red Lino, thank you very much for your super chat. Roundhead Johnson cast as the Watcher in 2019. That's the only role he could play. I know he's not an actor, but he could. He could take up the mantle as Uatu the Watcher. I've here to Johnson your universe. Dio Brando, man, you are just striking out with these super chats. I want to vomit when I see your name now. You have triggered me. You have psychologically triggered me to where you've conditioned me, not triggered me, to when I see Dio Brando, watch Tess Holiday be the new Bond girl. Now, I don't really know much about her. I've seen the that magazine cover she was on that somebody posted in the Facebook group. I'm not gonna make fun of her for how she looks, but no to Bond. I'm very picky. Bond girls and Bond himself, they need to be like unrealistically attractive. That's the point. The trailer for Black Cat DLC is on YouTube. There's proof of censorship. Oh, I believe you, Cesaria Japan. Believe me, you come to the channel all the time. I don't think I believe you're a man of your word. So I'm going to take your word for it. I don't like DLC. Here's the thing, too. I don't want to play as other characters in these games. I didn't want to play as Catwoman or Robin in the Arkham series. And I don't want to play as Black Cat or Miles Morales in Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a solo character. Let the Black Cat show up and taunt him, and you chase her across rooftops, and that's about it. Alec Munoz, excellent question. Jeff, who is your favorite Bond girl? First off, Alec Munoz, thank you very much for your super chat. I'm torn. My favorites are either Domino because she's beautiful, or Fiona Volpe because she's beautiful, or Jane Seymour as Solitaire because she's British. No, I mean, those are my favorites. I also like Xenia Onatopp and Natalia. Natalia, while hot, I do like Natalia because she's actually useful to the story. Bond doesn't know computers the way she does, so she's important to his mission. And I like the interplay between Isabella Scorupco and Pierce Brosnan. I think they both did a fantastic job. So thank you, Alec Munoz, for your super chat, and that was a really good question. I love answering stuff like that. No, Lena Dunham can't be a Bond girl. Just saying. You're partial to the Bond girl from For Your Eyes Only. Carol Bouquet, the dark-haired girl, or lady, whatever. That Bond girl. Yeah, she's great looking, too. BB Doll's funny. That's the one time they make fun of Roger Moore's age, and I enjoy that. Tracy Dracka, the only Bond girl to get the ring out of him. That's true. He never got over that. Nor should he. That's a nice element to the character. I was married once. Cold stare. Bury the pain, James. Bury the pain. Carolyn Monroe is the best Bond girl. I know all of them by name. She is good looking. And was it Naomi in The Spy Who Loved Me? By the way, folks, I'm dragging my feet. We have to record a commentary for Moonraker soon. Ew. And that'll be on Patreon in the coming weeks. I can't wait. Insanity Methods, thank you very much for your super chat. Who's your favorite Marvel or DC girl? Let's see. All the characters. Who do I like out of Marvel or DC? Marvel, I'll go. Now, are we talking like how I like them, like the Bond girls? Because if we're going like who I think's the coolest in Marvel, I'll go with Storm. I think Storm's awesome. Cool powers, very regal and noble, can kick some ass, and she has her flaws. You know, isn't she claustrophobic and freaks out, stuff like that? So she's interesting and has depth. From DC, I like Wonder Woman. She's fine. I liked her in the Justice League cartoon quite a bit. The movie, she's fine too. Gal Gadot, very fine. But I like Mary Jane, and I even like Black Cat from Marvel. I like a lot. The thing is, when they're written in the classic Marvel and DC book, I like a lot of the characters. The newer ones where you get these stupid writers, and I'm not just going to say like, oh, they wrote something bad. They're just stupid people. Those are the ones. That's when I hate these characters and I stop liking them. Plus, technically, Princess Leia is a Marvel girl because she's in the Marvel comics. It's where she first appeared. So there we go. And no, I'm not saying Star Wars is based off a Marvel comic. I'm saying that the Star Wars comic book came out, I believe, was it released before the movie? Slightly, because it's based off the old shooting script where Jabba the Hutt is a furry walrus man creature and appears in the story. Dio Brando, ugh, thank you very much for your super chat. My friend, she'd be the first Bond girl they have to need a forklift to kidnap. Again, man, I had a delicious breakfast of steak, egg, and cheese bagel and a copious amount of coffee. I'm feeling good about life. Stealing Solo broke records. I'm pumped. The artwork's coming along great. And then you do this to me. You cut me down in my prime. Thank you, Dio Brando. All joking aside, though, let's hope they don't ever go that route with James Bond, because they're just going to ruin the legacy. They're like, well, what about body diversity? Well, what about it? The people in James Bond movies don't have time to be lazy. Like, Bond has to be physically fit because it's part of his job. And the people he interacts with are like either the wives of elite bosses or criminals. And, you know, look at the crime lords' wives and stuff. They usually are these rich, I almost said rich extortionists. That doesn't make sense. They're rich. They live extravagant lifestyles. I'm trying to think of the word I wanted to use. It just right out of my mind. Had a cluster muff upstairs. But my point is, look at the ladies that these crime lords have. They want the best of the best. These women are just with them for their money. It's a lot of love. It's fiction, but that's how it would be. So I don't believe she could ever be a Bond girl. The iguana from The Living Daylights was the best Bond girl of that movie, definitely. Lena Dunham is a furry walrus man creature, too. Stunt casting for Ryan's new trilogy. That's definitely still happening. Yeah, Apollo Creed, I think you're secretly Mike Zero because you're getting your Star Wars content from the future. 100% that Mike Zero will be on the Collider Jedi Council. It's funny, he can go to the Collider Jedi Council, but I guarantee you, being on the High Council here on the channel will actually get him more fans, because they like to act like, oh, we're just a small vocal minority to the three of us. But Jeremy, Ethan, and I, we get the views, we have the fans, the people that love us, and our live streams are viewed more than people with tons and tons of views. Like, we outdo LA Beast. We go head to head with the LA Beast, who has 2.4 million subs and tons of views on his videos. But when it comes to live streams, we beat the shit out of him. We're usually like a 4-to-1 ratio in our favor. Trophy wives, Hernandez, that's a good way to say it. That's, in a way, what I'm trying to get at. Look at Scarface. What was her name? Elvira? Michelle Pfeiffer's character. She was beautiful, but hollow. That's usually what these crime lords or villains that are, fighting James Bond seem to have. It would be the dumbest, most preachy bullshit story if they tried to be like, well, we're including body diversity, and this is the girl that the crime villain is with. Nah, I don't believe it. We're talking about Gal Gadot or Gadot or however you pronounce it. Yeah, Israeli army. It's funny. My cousin married a dude from Israel, and they lived there for a couple years before she was a big actress, and she was just popular in Israel. So they've known about her for years, and they're like, oh, yeah, Gal this and all that. So they were all excited when Wonder Woman came out. Michelle Pfeiffer still looks good in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yes, she does. Michelle Pfeiffer is a very classy and good-looking woman, and I don't care how old she is. She looks great. A lot better than your modern-day Hollywood actress. Gal Gadot! Yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer looks better than Lena Dunham, obviously. Jeff, check Lee Evans from Jackie Chan movie, The Medallion. Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers looks like Lee Evans. Oh, God, I'll have to check that out. See, the thing is, I thought it was Godot as well, but then I've heard it's Godot because she's not. Godot would be the French pronunciation. So I keep hearing different ways. That's why I say Godot, because I've heard both. It's like tomato, tomato. Let's call the whole thing off. Gal is who Natalie Portman wishes she was instead of chain-smoking potty-mouth midget. I didn't realize Natalie Portman smoked. Natalie Portman, I used to like her when I was younger, but she just comes off as so unlikable. I know it sounds shallow to judge a person by their personality, but these actors, if they do a great performance, I don't care if they seem likable in real life. That's not, they're paid to act. But when they're in interviews and stuff like that, if they come off as fake and just, non-relatable, I don't care about them. That's why I like The Rock so much. He doesn't come off as fake. He comes off as a genuine dude. Maybe that's because he's a good actor, but then I've seen his movies and I disagree. He just seems genuinely nice. Dio Brando, ugh, just joking. The Bond villain puts her on a treadmill as a trap. God damn. Is this the meanest episode of Good Morning Pop Culture? Possibly. Dio Brando, contact me after the show. Let's start writing that James Bond script. That could be the next parody. Natalie Portman is stuck up. Yeah, she is. Star Wars made her bitter. I don't think she. I don't know if she's was bitter before. I guess she was bitter beforehand. Bikini 90. Thank you for super chat. Even Padme was a much stronger character than Rey. Yeah, very much so. That's the thing. When people want to, it's not even that people want to do it. It's when these crazed journalists and the SJW scourge of the internet try to attack the fandom menace, or just fans in general that have criticisms of a female character. They want to use sexism as a battle cry. It's sexism to not like the character. Look, I've said it before, and I'll say it until they just shut the fuck up. We love Princess Leia. Padme was legit. And there are other female movie characters that everybody like Sarah Connor and Ripley and all that shit. It's not sexist. It's that you made a bad fucking character and hid it in Star Wars, and they're trying to say, oh, guys, it's great. It's great. You're in the wrong. No. We're not in the wrong. Thank you very much for your time. Shut up. Many men will like to be stuck up for. Damn. Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, you've redeemed yourself. You're back. You're definitely back. Cesario Japan, thank you very much. Thoughts on female Bond villain? King doesn't count. Okay, Electra King doesn't count. I'm fine with a female Bond villain. Women can be evil, men can be evil. It's all about equality, right? Right? It just depends. If she's going to be like a female, like we've had Miranda Frost. She was a villain too. Yeah, Gustav Graves was the main bad guy, but Miranda Frost was evil. She was a 00 traitor. I'm fine with the idea, but remember, the villains have to, get their comeuppance. That's why people used to deal with Stephanie McMahon as a wrestler, because she would talk shit and slap the wrestlers, but when it came time for the big event, she would get her shit pushed in. With any villain, male or female, they do all these terrible things, and then at the end of the story, they gotta go. They gotta die. They gotta, face the music, if you will. So I'm okay with a female Bond villain, but she's got to die like every other Bond villain. She doesn't get to go to jail. She doesn't get to run off into the sunset and come back another day. She's got to go. Dr. No died. Red Grant died. Goldfinger died. Largo died. Blofeld eventually died. Everybody has got to go. Mr. Big died, a.k.a. Dr. Kananga. Scaramanga died. Stromberg died. Drax died. All the bad guys from For Your Eyes Only died. Look, I'm actually going in order of all the villains that died and the way they died. Look, they're all gone. She's got to go too, but I'm okay with it. Daniela Bianchi as Tatiana Romanova is my favorite. Classic, stunning beauty. Very true, Darth Hammer. A beautiful woman. She was dubbed in that movie because she was Italian and didn't speak very little, if any, English. So I'm with you about the stunning classic beauty. A lot of the old school Bond girls, classic stunning beauties. They don't make them like, well, you could say they don't make them like they do anymore, or they used to, but I just don't think they glorify. It's not what's popular anymore. That style isn't popular anymore, Everyone wants to wear a man bun and shitty flip-flops, and the women dress in barrels and act like Lena Dunham. The bad guy in Fallen lives. What's Fallen? Like, is that a movie? I'm just talking about the Bond movies. Trevelyan dies. Elliot Carver dies. Renard died. Gustav Graves got sucked into a fucking airplane engine. He died. Who else died? Miranda Frost got stabbed through the heart. Le Chiffre died. Oh, Dominic Green died. Silva died. I'm just saying, they all go. And if you gotta go with a smile. The Joker died. The only one that didn't die was the Riddler, and I'm okay with the Riddler not dying. Watch Fallen if you haven't seen it. Excellent film. All right, I'll check it out. Lost Cause, you have good taste. Tanya Roberts will always be my biggest childhood crush. Tanya Roberts she appealed to people in the 80s and the 90s because I first caught her as Midge on that 70s show. And Midge was a MILF. And then I went back and watched A View to a Kill and Beastmaster and other stuff. And she was also just, I can see why she's your childhood crush. And she seems like a really nice lady. If you listen to some of the stuff she says in interviews, she seems nice and down to earth, and that's important. Boogie2988 dies. Oh, you know what's sad is when people used to post that in the chat, I used to go, oh my God, did he really die? Because somebody said that, what was that guy? Total Biscuit passed away. I was like, oh, that's sad. And I looked it up, and he actually died. So every time someone say, X, Y, and Z died, I'd believe it, because the first one I remember people saying that was Total Biscuit. And I was like, oh, that's sad. So once I was on the show, and I went, oh, and I looked up, and no, Boogie's still alive. So damn it, Uriah, you got me again. Who was the guy in the wheelchair that got dumped down the smokestack by Roger Moore? Mr. Bond! It was meant to be Blofeld, because I've told this on another show, and I'll gladly tell it again. If you guys ever have questions about stuff you think I might have covered, ask. I'm not a teacher that's going to dock you points. The character in For Your Eyes Only was meant to be Blofeld without actually being called Blofeld, because Kevin McClory had the rights to make his own Bond flick. And so this was their way of killing off Blofeld as a proverbial middle finger to him, saying, we don't need you, and anything you've created, we'll do our own Bond pictures. And they did. And Kevin McClory came out in 1983 with his, starring Sean Connery, Never Say Never Again, directed by Irvin Kershner. And it was not a flop. It went up against Octopussy. I think Octopussy is a shittier film, but it won at the box office because it's the official Bond flick. And now we're here, 35 years later, still talking about it. They might Johnson Bond soon. Yeah. Some Jokers live, some Jokers die. Heath Ledger's Joker did not die, but Heath Ledger did. Yes, it's true. I know I added the Heath Ledger died part to your comment. But no, yes, his character did survive. But when I said, if you got to go with a smile. And Jack Nicholson's Joker said those lines, and he bit the bullet about 20 minutes later. Baron Samedi did not die. You thought he died, but is he supernatural? He died. Jaws did not die, but Jaws is the henchman of the film. He's not the main villain. I like the soundtrack for Your Eyes Only. I do too. It's scored by Bill Conti. It's a very funky tune, the entire thing. Rin Shinobu, if you enjoy the whole soundtrack, tell me what your favorite track is. Mine is the Countryside Music or Runaway. I listen to that song quite a bit. It's really, like I said, it's funky and out there, but it's fun. It's like disco meets weird synth pop meets orchestra. Have I seen the photo of Lee Evans? Let me look it up. Who the fuck sent me a picture of Lena Dunham? Ew. Lee Evans. Yeah, it's Jeremy. Coming at you with another video. I gotta put a hat on this. Yeah, this is Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. If Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers ran really fast into Bobby Flay, you'd have Lee Evans, the stand-up comedian. Yes, King KDI. That's what happened with Danny Boyle. They wanted to kill Bond. He quit. That's the rumor, but that's the story that's out there in the press right now. Have I got the English 10 pence coin featuring 007? No, I need to get that. I forgot. Thank you for reminding me. Captain Phasma dies in every Star Wars movie. That's true. That's true. She bit the bullet a couple times. They should make Bond versus Mission Impossible. That'd be fun. Well, we already had that. Henry Cavill's the next James Bond, and he lost to Ethan Hunt. Rin Shinobu, those are good. See the 13-track gun barrel / flyers for Teresa sinking the St. George. I like that movie quite a bit. It used to be my favorite Roger Moore Bond flick. No longer is it my favorite Roger Moore Bond flick, but it was one of the earlier ones that I had on tape. because for as much as I love Bond, I never owned the entire collection on tape. I owned Goldfinger, I owned all the Brosnan ones, a couple of Connery ones, and For Your Eyes Only. And then we would rent the other ones quite frequently. And once the DVD sets hit, the second release in 2002, I had them, and then I got the rest in 2003. It's funny, my mom used to take me to Media Play probably once a month, and we'd say, when does the James Bond box set come out? Because on the Die Another Day DVD, there was a commercial for the next two sets. And she's like, as soon as those come out, I'll buy them for you. And it took me until the next Christmas, but I got those. Phasma's a clone. I can see that happening. Who put $100 down on it? Put me down for 20. I'm good for it. Phasma was secretly on the Death Star in Return of the Jedi. When Jeremy talks, it reminds me of Jim Cornette. Darth Wesker, do you listen to the Bruce Pritchard podcast with his impression of Jim Cornette? I can't even get my voice that high, but it makes me laugh when I hear it. The world is not a muff. Oh, my God. That's the... Oh my God. I love it. DeMille Jr., thank you very much for your super chat. Oh, my God. They killed Phasma. You bastard. I don't think anyone would even be sad. It would be more like, oh, my God, you killed Phasma. Thank you. Thumbs up. That's about it. Oh. I did not hear about EVS debating Vox Day on the Kill stream. I guess people are going to be watching that excitedly. That gives me the perfect opportunity for world-class bullshitters to record some stuff in secret. So Sarah Japan, thank you for your very generous super chat. I think this should be enough to cover the cost of getting a Bond 10 pence coin from an eBay seller. Enjoy. Well, Cesaria Japan, whenever someone tells me to get something out of a super chat, I have to. That's how we got the turkey suit for Dion as well as Mr. Ed. So let me write that down. Get 007 coin. Sorry, Japan. I have that written down now, and thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I will never forget who sent it to me. So thank you very much. It's going to go on my shelf. As soon as I get it and it arrives, I'll take a picture of the coin on my 007 shelf. American Trent 007 himself has seen the 007 shelf because we're friends on Facebook, and we got into a discussion about the new James Bond collectibles, and he goes, do you have the old ones? Can I see a photo of them? So I sent him the pictures of Sean Connery and Dr. No, the dolls. Rose Tika, screw you guys, I'm going home. Phasma is Boba's ex-wife. By the way, Mike Hartman sounded more like Harry Solomon from Third Rock from the Sun. Phasma was overhyped. You damn right. Tezunagari? Tezunagari? There we go. I think I got it right. Tezunagari. I'm getting better with screen names, right? At least I'm not Jeremy. I can say Jijigify and all those names like that. Book Phasma, badass. Episode Phasma, generic named villain 0815. She does kind of suck. I'm not a fan at all. I remember how people were going nuts about Captain Phasma. And oh my God, the action figure doesn't have a chromium paint job. This is so terrible. It's only silver. It's only gray plastic, blah, 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 blah. And these mother muffers would go out of their way to paint the damn figure so it looked like, oh, it's chromium now. Look how cool it is. And then they saw the movie and they would just be like, oh. And one thing I would like to point out too, Jeremy talks about how the Star Wars Episode 7 stuff sold out really fast when it first came out. Now, I could have shown this yesterday, but I went to Walmart on Force Friday, and I even posted on my old Facebook, it said, I didn't come out at midnight, but everything's still in stock at 8 a.m. So even Force Friday at a Walmart didn't cause anything to sell out. And I went to my local Toys R Us to check it out too, and it was all still there. So I do have proof that that wasn't bullshit or a bad memory. Phasma is the lesbian your ex-wife leaves you for. Let's see. Mutter Me Seeks. You screw up my name all the time, but it's all good. Is it Mutter? Like German Mutter and Fati? Let's see. With infinite resources, why isn't all clone trooper armor chrome/blast resistant? Because, Lando, they're trying to elevate the clone lady. Forced Friday, more like Forced Friday. Am I right? Thank you, Lord Stark. If you're wondering if Phasma's carpet matches the drapes, you're right. Chrome. Ugh. Ugh. No, thank you, sir. Oh, man, I can't believe it's already 10:10. I guess it's... If you guys have anything else you'd like to ask me or say, put it in the chat right now because we're getting ready to put this episode to bed. I'm going to move to do a couple other things this afternoon, and we're going to... you know what? I guess I could come back this afternoon when the Captain Marvel stuff comes out. Press 1 if you guys want that to happen. Again, I just need to know. Oh, time for the bad art. Yeah, Amy Minty, I cannot forget that. Thunder Robots. James Bond meets Maxwell Smart. Some could say that that's Daniel Craig's James Bond because he missed it by that much. Thunder Robots, that's a fun idea. I would actually really like that comic quite a bit. So let's look at the bad art Amy Minty sent. Didn't want to forget. So thank you, Amy, for reminding me. So now this is old. Now I don't consider this too terrible, but it is. This is what Amy sent, and let's check it out. So this is Darth Vader, ? And this is how Darth Vader looked in the early Star Wars comics. Now I wouldn't call this bad. I think this is Carmine Infantino work. And I'm fine with it. They definitely aren't on model. A lot of the early Star Wars comics aren't on model. If anything, that's their biggest fault. Yeah, they also use the word star or space too much. Like, I'm going to turn you into space dust, space rock, space this, space goes, coast to coast, all that kind of stuff. But at least they got the spirit of Star Wars correct. And I mean, this isn't too terrible. This is better than... Is it better than the new Darth Vader stuff? No, but let's talk about the way the new Star Wars comics are produced. They get Lucasfilm production images and they trace a lot of it. Will you guys post a con schedule if you're going to start doing cons as a regular thing? Yes, John, we will always give you guys many months of notice. There is nothing new for 2018. We're going to be next appearing at Star Wars Celebration with all you guys to hang out. So we've taken care of a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff, and we're going to make that happen. Before you know it, you're going to be able to meet us. All the High Council guys will be there, all the bullshitters. I believe everyone from Geeks and Gamers is going to make it out too. So this is a big event. This is going to be the place where they have us all in one location. So be there, hang out with us. We're going to have pie and pizza, and we're going to get wired and have a big party. So James Brown Vader. I haven't got your email about the LGBT 1000 yet. I'm sorry. I love the old Marvel Star Wars art. It's fun. If Phasma comes back at episode 9, I'm going to roll my eyes and throw my popcorn at somebody. Just put it out there. Rogue is better than Storm. She can drain me any day. Maybe. Is it really worth dying to get some, though? I mean, pie is great, but I don't want to die for pie. What would be your reaction if Bond movies start to feature Bond boys instead of Bond girls and start a non-Brit in the role? Well, I wouldn't think too much of it, Lord Stark, because I wouldn't watch the damn thing. I've used this example in the past, and I'll use it again. I skipped The Amazing Spider-Man 2 in theaters. I can skip a James Bond flick. Just because I love a franchise doesn't mean I can't avoid it like the plague if need be. With Star Wars, it's a little different because of you guys in the channel. But for James Bond, if they did something stupid like that, I'm sorry. It would take a $10,000 super chat for me to go see that fucking movie. That's just no. I don't want to. Yeah, G-Monkey, you do have the best pizza in Chicago. I love it. That muff is worth dying for. Maybe. Johnson is an internet troll, yes or no? Yeah, he's a little guy that looks for attention and likes to bully people. So he is what he hates the most, a bully. Show chat some Hawkeye Initiative panels. Maybe tomorrow. Raul Valdez, if you remind me early enough, yes, I will show the Hawkeye Initiative stuff, gladly. Bond Boy sounds like a porn parody, yeah. Sounds like a really shitty band, really, like a 2001 cover band, and they're just like they cover. It's like big ups. They cover the Bond themes in a Backstreet Boys in sync style. They're like the O-Town of the cinematic music world. Ryan Johnson lives under a bridge. Troll confirmed. I would love to go to Ryan Johnson's house for dinner and just Johnson up the whole place. Like, I ate the food, I clogged the toilet, I lit the mantelpiece on fire. I won't hurt any pets because I like animals. I ripped his couch. I flooded his basement. I destroyed his microwave by putting silverware in it and turning it on for 9 minutes. I jumped on his bed till it broke. I tripped over his computer and it broke. I got really drunk and I jumped through the kitchen table and I sneezed and Ryan Johnson fell down the stairs. So I Johnsoned up that whole night. You left an upper decker. Damn, in this coffee pot? Shit, you guys are some harsh people. I like it. I'm glad we're all on the same team now because, man, I would not want to be against anyone in the Fandom Menace. I think Ryan Johnson is a nice guy, but the tremendous amount of backlash was just too much for him as a new director. Most will disagree, though. Well, Metalhead Zaki, that's the beauty of this show. We don't all have to agree. Now, I think Ryan Johnson, I don't think he's that nice of a guy. I don't think he's a bad human. Like, I don't, even as much as we dislike Kathleen Kennedy and the garbage she's done to Star Wars, I wouldn't consider her a bad person. She's not evil. She's just really unqualified for her job, and she's got the wrong idea of what it means to be the president of Lucasfilm. Now, with Ryan Johnson, I'm sure he was overwhelmed with the media blitz of Star Wars, but he handled it all so well up until the movie came out, where he began to react. I know I use this guy as an example, but when people talk shit about you, you just move on, like The Rock. People talk shit about The Rock every day. Oh, he's a terrible actor. He's this, that. Look, I'm not going to say he's the greatest actor, but he's popular for a reason. Ryan Johnson should have taken the high road. I know he's a little guy, but you take the high road approach, Ryan. You just move on. You don't pay attention to Twitter. You say, hey, here's how I would have handled it. And people are like, oh, I hated this movie, this, that, and the other. Say, hey, that's fine that you dislike the movie. It's my artistic vision, and I'm sorry we don't see eye to eye on that. And that is it. And that can be your big statement. You tag it, you pin it to the top of your Twitter, and you move the fuck on, and this whole backlash doesn't start. But he antagonized, Disney antagonized, Lucasfilm antagonized, and that's what backlash comes from. So he deserves it because he brought it upon himself. It's not really about a bad movie as much as it is mistreatment of a fan base and disrespect. The media toes the company line of Lucasfilm, and now Star Wars is just an untouchable brand. Nobody wants it. Ghosty Ghost, thank you very much for your $5 super chat. Aqua Teen Hungers Force. Aqua Teen Hungers Force. I like Aqua Teen Hunger Force a lot. I enjoy Meatwad. He's probably my favorite character. But I do like Frylock and Master Shake. One year for Christmas, my cousin gave me a Meatwad beanie, and I've worn that quite a bit. There may be photos of it somewhere out there. But I've moved beyond Meatwad beanies and Frylock t-shirts. But yes, Ghosty Ghost. Aqua Teen Hunger Force is an awesome show. And I think I know the words of the theme song, which I'll sing when I'm drunk on one of these streams. He enjoys antagonizing people to cover his own securities. That is a very valid point. And I guess that's sad at the end of it. Maybe we should look to him with some nah, we shouldn't. You can witness his self-doubt in the Last Jedi documentary. And look it. I'm not one of these. I'm not a bully. I don't really go on to pick on people. But like I said in the video, turnabout is fair play. If you go out of your way to talk shit about people or try to tear them down, oh, I'm only talking about a small minority of people. Just shut the fuck up, man. Just don't do those things. He's gone out of his way. He's Johnson to the whole situation. So I think I want to end the show on this one. From Looper to Pooper, the Ryan Johnson story. So, folks, thank you for joining us this morning on Good Morning Pop Culture. It's been a fun day. We got into a lot of fun stuff. I love when people, who's your favorite Bond girl? Stuff like that. That was a lot of fun for me. We've had a fantastic day. And Stealing Solo has been kicking ass. It has passed its goal. Where is it at now? Let's do one last look before we close out this show. What's my favorite quote from the Burbs? Honestly, off the top of my head, the only line I can think about is he's a hydrocephalic and he got drunk and fell down the stairs or whatever. So I can't honestly think of a quote from the Burbs right off the top of my head. But I do like that actor, Rick DeCockham. I wish he was still with us because he was a good actor. I loved him in Die Hard, Blank Check, and probably the other movies I've seen him in. So, guys, thank you to everyone who's backed Stealing Solo. $20,875 in 2 weeks and 12 hours. Kicking ass. It's a new lap record for world-class bullshitters. 104% of its goal, and it can go nowhere but up. So thank you to everyone. Thank you who spends their mornings here with me on Good Morning Pop Culture, and I will be back probably later this afternoon to talk about some Captain Marvel dumpster fire news, as well as some other stuff. But look for us to be back live officially on the channel tomorrow morning with Good Morning Pop Culture. And then tomorrow night is World Class Bullshitters episode 130-something. And we'll be back to discuss the world of pop culture. I was in Gremlins too. So bye to everybody. Thank you very much. And I'll be back next time with future Star Wars content.